Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome on this Saturday morning, April 6, 2024, to a brand new live spanking edition of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio Programmio of the Stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable and wonderful wife, Joyce, there on the drums, and all of you watching at home. It is the first Saturday in April.
They're talking about eclipse glasses that, like, you can't just use sunglasses, you'll go blind.
No, of course not. No.
Saying, like, these are certain places where you can use the eclipse.
Eclipse. Yes, apparently.
I don't know, where can we get them? It says, like, what's legit.
Right. Actually, wouldn't our university, one of them or both of them, be having like a special thing for? Remember, I showed you on Twitter or somewhere. Yeah. There was this university. It wasn't for this one, but there was a thing for a recent eclipse, and they designed these like paper mache, cardboard, really really awful things. It was like two stigmata hands and a sun in between them, because your university should be doing that. But apparently Monday is going to be a big old eclipse. Yeah. Tell us.
It says where to look.
Which is where? In the sky, would presume. I wouldn't necessarily look on the ground during an eclipse, unless you want to save your eyesight and you don't have proper glasses.
They said they had something March 15th. It was like a preview.
Oh, really?
Eclipse viewing party.
It's like a coming attractions eclipse. The sun goes.
2017 they had an eclipse party.
Yeah, no.
Oh, maybe we can go to the library.
Really? What time is the thing?
No, I think we can. It says Solar Eclipse 2024.
Yeah.
Registration. We can go there and ask them if they have glasses.
God forces you to sign a petition to watch it. Yeah, no. We'll have to hit the library anyway.
We can go to the library and ask them if they have glasses or they can help us find places.
Yeah.
Because a lot of places are sold out, but they say the problem is a lot of them are fake.
A lot of the glass. Oh, well, yeah, that's real good. That's.
Yeah.
It's like, here, you put these in front of your eyes.
I know.
Did it protect your
people
eyes?
who gave it to us in Colorado they were speech language pathology people, so they knew. I trusted them.
What did speech language pathology people have to do with eclipses? How would they know?
No, but they have access to they know what's scientifically proven,
yeah.
Right? So they're not going to give you a fake product. Like they're gonna ask friends or they're gonna have scientific relationships. It's not gonna be like, here, take a piece of paper.
It'd be great if I went out there with just like regular 3D glasses, and then everybody went blind in 3 years.
They said you actually have a lot of damage.
Retinal damage, yeah.
Because then they're saying not only that, it's like there are two things. People who think that they're using glasses that are fake, and then people are using sunglasses. You can't.
Yeah, no, it's not quite the same. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So we can do. But what time is the eclipse supposed to happen?
I think it's about 2:00. I'll be at school.
I'll be in class.
So just like be careful. Don't look at.
Oh, actually, no. Worse.
What?
I'll actually wait. Let me think about it. No, I'll be home.
It's between 2 and 3.
Yeah. No, I thought I'll be around.
David, we're living it. This is like scary.
They've had eclipses for thousands of years.
We have earthquake, pandemic, eclipse. I mean, like
That's true.
You know, like not for nothing, but really.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And they had BOGO at Kohl's. That happens once in a, and all these strange,
that's the sign.
inexplicable things happening. There's all these roundabouts popping up where there used to be left turns.
I know.
I can't even begin.
Don't even start.
So be careful and enjoy the eclipse on Monday afternoon. It was kind of, it was enjoyable when we went.
Maybe we can see. Do you think at local I'm not thinking
the eye doctor might.
Spring, but that's further out to get it. But do you think any eye doctors would have it, or?
They should. That would be a great thing. They put their logo on it.
Yeah.
Although an eye doctor would probably tell you, don't even with good glasses. Mm-hmm. This is not something you do not just need to stare directly into the sun.
I have my eyes. I can't afford to lose any vision.
Yeah.
Let me have your phone so I can see your Facebooking.
Sure. But it's sort of true. Any eye doctor worth his salt would say, you know what? Yes, if you're gonna stare at the sun, wear good glasses. It's kind of like saying, if you're gonna drink tequila, just stop before the worm.
Oh, David.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm telling you. Oh, I gave you a story about a man getting a vasectomy during the earthquake.
Yes, yes, I have it. Yes,
okay,
yes.
I know if you've read it.
Yeah, that'll be part of our Greeley Times. Yes,
I mean,
thank you.
What the heck?
Well, he can't. Who knew?
Well, you know what? Look, the world may be going in tatters, but
yes,
you
yes.
have one thing that will keep you happy for the rest of your life.
Oh, I think we know what we're talking about. Are we talking about? Hold it. Let me get the. Is it this? It is.
Show the video. It's upside down, honey.
Oh.
You show your.
So wait. Let me set this up. Let me set up the excitement of this, the joy of this. So it isn't even a running joke. It's just a running story on the show that old Dave likes his meat.
You look like you're on a tropical cruise.
Well, yeah, I'm feeling springy. Finally, after 5 days of rain, I'm feeling
like a Mai Tai or something. Look at that.
I'll wear a tie. Yeah. Actually, you don't wear ties either, so I don't know why you would offer me your tie. But anywho, it's become a thing that I like. Well, I like Beatrice Arthur, but I also like meat. I like steak, ribs, prime rib. It's all really bacon. So, I have been crabbing and complaining and bitching for weeks now that Mission Barbecue, which is this wonderful chain that is getting bigger and bigger. They're opening one in Albany now, but we're in Maryland. I track them. I'm tracking so that when they open one across the street, they can just have easy access.
You have two within 10 to 15 minutes of your home.
But I can't walk there.
You could if you were really hungry.
It's 5 miles.
You could walk there from school.
From school, yes, of course. From school I could, but so not from here.
Let's say you wanted a break and you wanted to have, during the day, you're waiting for me and you gotta,
Yeah. So Mission Barbecue is a place known for ribs. It's kind of it's a
barbecue.
Cafeteria style. They kind of, what do you call it? Where you come up, they will serve you at the table.
The cafeteria style would be like a buffet. It's not a buffet.
No,
no.
You
go up, you order, and then the thing that makes it like cafeteria style is they show you before you take the food home. They show you it. They call your name. They say, David, look, here's the big slab of meat.
Yes, but it's also like Chipotle. It's you don't pick your own, or they don't serve you at tables. You go up, they hand you food.
Oh, so if you eat at those tables, there's no waiter?
No.
Oh, I misunderstood.
I guess they clean up after you when you leave, but there's no service.
I thought they had
I don't think so. No, I think you go up, you order, and you take your food back.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just assumed they had it was like a sit-down restaurant, but you could also take it out. I didn't realize it was both.
I don't know if, I could be wrong. Maybe it is. It does have some level of sit-down, but I don't think so. I think you grab your stuff to bring it to your table.
They do have tables.
Yeah, you eat
outdoor
there.
Tables. They have a lot of seating, but I assume they have wait staff. But I bet you're right. They just have people who like you get your own food. Yeah,
and it's yummy food, and it's for what they're serving. It's usually reasonably priced, right? So you're getting meat, you're getting barbecue ribs, or you're getting brisket, or you're getting that kind of thing. So one of the things that they do, and I've explained this many times, is that they have something called a Black Plate Special, because the place is dedicated to service folks and veterans. So they're very specifically, they close on like Veterans Day. There are days when they give Army people and war veterans and things free meals. This is their ethos. The whole place looks like an Army cantina on some level, but more family friendly, cozy. And so their Black Plate Special, which harkens back, I guess, to the Blue Plate Special that restaurants used to have back in the day, which is like an extra special meal that they don't have all the time, that they tend to also be more economical. They charge less for it than you ordinarily would. And their Black Plate Specials, when they're amazing, are things like prime rib or a ribeye steak done in different ways. It's all smoked. It's all smoked barbecued. Sometimes they do it in the Hawaiian style with a little bit of sweet sauce. Another time they do espresso coffee rubbed.
They switch it up,
yeah. Every 7 to 8, like every 2 months, they will switch up their Black Plate Special. And they will always serve ribs and things like that. So I go there because when they have a Black Plate Special steak, it's absolutely Almost always it's wonderful and quite reasonably priced for a steak nowadays. But for about 6 to 8 weeks, there was no steak. The black plate special had vanished. It changed, as they warn you it will. And instead of steak, and they've done this once before, and I warned them about this. I threatened them over this. They changed it to shrimp. And this is a barbecue place. Nobody goes to a barbecue place for shrimp. But I actually tried it once, and it was delicious. But for about $14, you get 7 barbecued shrimp on a plate and a little square of cornbread. I'm like, no. No. I can get like a shrimp cocktail for this.
Try the shrimp?
Yeah, I told you. It was really good, but I looked at it. It looks like nothing, especially when you're taking it out. We take everything home because we don't eat inside restaurants. I open it up, I look at it in the car, and it's like, 7 little shrimp sliding around in a styrofoam bucket. I'm like, what? This?
It wasn't your thing.
It was delicious. It was yummy. But after 15 bites.
Yeah, but imagine yourself if you're somebody who really loves shrimp. And also for people who celebrate Easter and that, they can't have fish on Friday. So I think maybe
there's 6 other days in the week.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe, but also they did chicken. I think there might be people who really love, maybe they can't have red meat, so they want
put
seafood.
Shrimp on the menu all the time.
Or they could put it where they could have why don't they do one that's surf and turf?
As a matter of fact, they do have on their menu all the time salmon. So if there's a person who wants fish, they have smoked salmon.
Like salmon.
Yeah,
it's a very popular. It's a very popular fish.
Yeah. And if people they're worried that that the salmon is going to be stolen, they always put locks on it. Just a little smoky salmon kind of joke there. So for weeks, I am languishing. For weeks, I am depressed. I am angry.
No, you're bitter.
I'm bitter. I'm always bitter. Yeah.
You were forced to eat at Isakawa. You were forced to eat at
Oh, I tried all these different restaurants. The one with a messed up menu that we love, Sichuan taste.
We also found one that has geggies instead of vegetables.
Geggies. They have a geggy omelet at one of these places.
Omelet, yeah.
And it was good too.
It was a delicious geggy omelet, yes.
But the thing is, I'm Jones, and I don't want to spend. I did once. I weekend once, and I got the ribs from Mission Barbecue because I wanted me.
You were feeling ill. Remember you had that pain in your.
Oh yeah.
And then we gave you a mini Advil, and then we gave you the ribs, and it cured you.
It did. I was better by the next day.
You were like, I feel fine.
There's something in meat and ribs that cures. Yeah. So
maybe you were going through some kind of withdrawal.
I was.
I think that's what it was.
It was mission withdrawal.
Yeah.
Like when alcoholics go to the mission to dry out.
Well, they lured you in because they gave you the free cobbler.
Well, that was the thing.
That's what.
Well, no. What brought me back was not free cobbler. What brought me back was we called, I asked them when I was there last time, and I said, "How long is this shrimp shit going?"
Did you say that?
No, I put it that way.
But
how much longer on this shrimp? And I said, no, we changed the Monday after Easter. It's like, because I knew it closed on Easter, but the day after Easter, we changed the Black Plate Special. And so I asked him, confidential, just between you and me, what's the next Black Plate Special going to be? And he was like, oh, yeah, we're going back to the Hawaiian Ribeye steak. And I jumped on him and I came. But it was the happiest moment of my life when I heard, to know that the Black Plate Special was back, and so I'm like, and as an added thing, Joyce just mentioned, I got in my mail a coupon. Sometimes they do give you coupons if you get on their mailing list. You get a free meal on your birthday, which is wonderful, which is lovely, and sometimes they'll send you, hey, we've also changed up our dessert. We'd like to give you a free peach cobbler next time you come in, and whether you order something or not. So I could live without dessert. I can't live without dessert, actually, but I'm not a big cobbler fan. I don't go to Mission Barbecue for the desserts. And the
Do you
cornbread is
like
good. Yeah.
the South Asian dessert that's like dough with honey, which is similar?
The South. Not, well, I love flan, and I love.
Maluja.
Oh, not gulab jamun. It's the other one, ras malai,
Yes,
which is the cheesy one.
yes.
Yeah. No, I love. There are desserts that I love,
Yeah.
but I don't come to Mission Barbecue for a dessert. I'm not going to buy a dessert there. However, if you're going to give me a free dessert and you're going to change your black plate special back to something meaty, I'm there. And we were there 2 days ago, ladies and gentlemen. Somehow I held myself back from going at 11:01 a.m. on Monday morning, probably because I was teaching the moment they were doing it. But so somehow I did it. Somehow I managed it, and then we went on I think it was Thursday or Wednesday
Thursday,
after,
your last teaching day of the week.
and went over there. But okay, so I'm really excited.
We could compare it. So if you want, why don't we not? Let's not. I won't pack lunch. After your show, we'll do some yard sailing, and then we'll go. You can go to Mission Barbecue. We'll shop and go to Mission.
Well, but
Barbecue.
here's the one thing.
Yeah.
Like, I can never have anything. Nobody can ever have like ideal perfection. It's just not in the cards.
Well, you want to compare to the stores and see how they do it differently.
Right? Yeah. But we go there, and what could be better? Right? I'm finished teaching. I finished my last class.
Oh yeah.
Joyce is coming home with me. We go there. I'm jonesing for their Hawaiian ribeye steak, and I've got a coupon for free peach cobbler. Now, Joyce is a vegetarian, not vegan, but she is vegetarian, has been for many years. So Mission Barbecue to her is like, not, I wouldn't say hell on earth, but it's this place of like, she doesn't want to smell it. I mean, it smells good, but she doesn't want to know from it. There's nothing there for her except they do a very nice sweet, I apologize to Potato for this, a very nice sweet potato. And it's basic. They don't muck it up with lots of crap and preservatives and sugar and salt and stuff. They do what you do with sweet potato. You bake it, and then on the side you can add brown sugar and whatever you need to. So she's had it there, and so when we go to Mission Barbecue, it's something she can look forward to because there's nothing else she can look forward to at Mission Barbecue. So I go, it's like, okay, free dessert.
I also like their tea. They have a good unsweetened.
Oh, unsweetened iced tea, which is good.
It's strong. It's nice and strong. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
I enjoy that. Yeah.
But you prefer Pete's because when we go.
Yeah, I don't know. Pete's has the interesting thing about Pete's is it's less bitter. Their tea is really strong, but sometimes strong brewed tea has a bitter taste. It doesn't. It's not bitter.
As opposed to the Mission, which has a little bit of bitter.
Or even the bagel place, like sometimes it's not bad, but there's a little bitter afterkick.
So Pete's is a little bit better. Because when we go, when I go to Mission Barbecue, I always say, "Do you want a tea?" Yeah. But Pizza's right there, so we go pizza instead.
Also you have the card. We have the card on the table.
But I'm standing at the counter and I say, "Okay, free." We got that. Here's my phone. Free dessert, and black plate me. And please, for the wife, can she have your yam, your sweet potato? And they say, "Oh no, we don't do sweet potatoes anymore."
No, they've changed their menu. Can I have your phone?
Why would they do that? How easy is it to do a sweet potato?
Everybody changes. Like, I'll tell you, I think I could eat the same thing every day, although now I've not been eating my peanut butter, right? But yeah, because of the nutritionist. But like, it's interesting to me that people like novelty. So even one of the Uber drivers said to me, "I'm going to give you a tip." I said, "What?" He said, "Panera's changing their menu." He said, "I met a woman who works at the Panera in town, and she said they're changing it." And then remember we went to Panera and the other Panera, and you said, "Look, honey," and they said, "Oh, coming for spring."
Right. Yeah.
So they changed a lot, like a lot of strawberry based. Like I think they.
No, restaurants want to change it up. They need to do something new.
Different.
But the one thing to take off the menu is the one thing Joyce likes to. I mean, they have French fries. I'm pretty sure.
That's okay.
I think they have. So you could have those, but they won't be good for you. That would be salted and this and that, fried, as opposed to a yam where they go foop.
I can get myself yogurt.
We can never have 100% happiness. There's always got to be, Rabbi Sol Solomon used to do this in his act. God always takes away some little percentage of joy just to remind us that he's there. So I got my Hawaiian Ribeye. It was delicious.
It doesn't say anything like here. It just says.
What about Panera?
No, I was looking at Mission Barbecue to see. It says, I was reading, it says there's nothing frozen. Oh, here you go. Here's your. And then you can show your video.
See, they have smashed potatoes, but God knows what they do to them.
David!
Whoa! Oh!
David!
Uh-oh, this is going to go bad.
David.
This is going to
look!
And they have potato salad.
Oh, this is not going to be bueno.
Debbie? Yes, potato. Debbie, this Michelin, what was it?
Oh,
Mission
no.
place that you're eating at?
No,
Yeah.
David, no, just let it go.
So, are you supporting the murderers of my people? Potato, when I order a ribeye, I don't order it with anything else. It comes with cornbread.
Oh, wow, they opened on September 11th, 2011.
Oh, there you go, but the day to open. Please don't change the subject. Daddy, are you eating in a place that is doing literal genocide of my potato buddies? Wow. How can I say, by my ordering the steak and not the potato dishes, maybe I'm contributing to them not offering more because people won't buy them. See, if we buy more steak,
that's nice.
if we buy more of the collard greens, let's say they have collard greens.
They don't have that.
We drink more of the iced tea, but not eating the potato. Daddy, you're so full of shit. It's unbelievable. Potato. Why don't you go start marching for the Palestinians? How would you like that? All right, potato. Enough. I'm sorry, potato. When we go to Mission, as tempted as you are.
Their menu just to see what the.
Yeah, what is there that you could eat? The smashed.
I'm just curious to see.
Yeah. What? Oh, those are the places that they are now.
No, they're everywhere. There are a lot of states.
Yeah. I don't even know if they have one in Manhattan, but if they don't, they will.
I'm sure they do. I'm just looking at the menu. Go ahead.
Okay, but anyway, so yay, except for the Holocaust and genocide of potatoes. Yay for Mission Barbecue for bringing back their real black plate special, and it was yummy.
Look, they used to have a brisket chopped and sliced, and now they have a sandwich called Chopped Deluxe. It says a saucy trio, so it's probably 3 meats chopped together.
Mm-hmm.
They have a garden greens, like an iceberg salad.
All right, yeah.
They have mac and cheese, which I would.
Iceberg, Goldberg, they're all the same, those people. Yeah.
Mac and cheese, I don't know.
Yeah, but mac and cheese is going to be full of salt and cheese and goo. Yeah.
Baked beans have brisket in them.
Ooh.
They have,
What? Something.
Fresh cut.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's why they're,
And then instead of writing seasonal sweets like what they were, they just write seasonal sweets in all caps. They write yes.
Okay, fine. Free potato stein! All right, potato. Jesus Christ. Sorry I even got... No, I'm not sorry I went there. I will be going there again and again, as long as I have this Black Plate special. Anyway, you're watching Dave's Gone By with me.
Show them your video.
Yeah, that's right. This was
Live.
Such an excitement for me to go and be back at Mission Barbecue, with their special, that not only did Joyce take a picture of me in my moment of joy, but she hit the button and it turned into is this a video one? Here we go. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. I'm going to do it again. It's kind of, it goes real quick. Oh.
Here, give it to me.
Yeah. You can actually see my eyes going, It goes beyond delight. It goes into a level of rapture. Oh, let me hear it again. Here we go. Let's try that one more time. As Joyce says, And let me show you some other. We took another couple of pictures this week of me. Well, this is Joyce took like 5 pictures of me. As I like.
Because you kept saying, "Take my picture, take my picture."
Because they had the ribeye like right in front of the window.
Okay, but they know how to market, right? I mean, like.
Now here's a happy moment also, because it was just after Easter, or I think we went like on Easter, Saturday before Easter, and I did find.
Oh yeah.
in the supermarket.
The elusive
butter bunny.
Yes.
It's a butter bunny, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
I just love saying the phrase butter bunny. I thought I invented it, and wouldn't you know? No, there's companies on Easter, probably like not Russell Stover, but who's that? That's Kohler or something. Keller's.
It's like but it must be hard to get the butter molded. How do they find like butter sculptures?
Well, like anything else, you can always make a butter something. So this is an actual sculpture of a rabbit made out of butter, aka a butter bunny. So won't you all say it with me? Say it together with me. Butter bunny. You can't be unhappy. You can't be grim when you say the phrase butter bunny. It's just like butter bunny. It makes you happy to think it and to say it. And to actually come across in the supermarket a butter bunny. And you know what? We almost bought it for the joy, but it was like $5 for a fucking thing of butter. So I'm like, no, but let's take a picture with it. So I took a picture of me with a butter bunny. It was a good week, ladies and gentlemen, despite the weather, despite literally, I don't think we've ever had that many consecutive days of almost nonstop rain here in northern Baltimore County, although, Baltimore's known for rain, but oh my gosh, just day after day after day after day after day. I mean, that's why people were so messed up and depressed this week. It was just, you went to school on Monday, people were like tired and pissed. You went to school on Tuesday, it was raining even harder. By Wednesday, it was just, oh, come on. And then Thursday, and even yesterday when it was tapering off, there would be pockets of showers on and off all day.
Is it going to be 70 today?
It was going to be like 70 Monday or Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
But it's going to get warmer today. And I swear to God, there's still going to be a chance of showers here today. But what we didn't get, or at least what I didn't notice or feel, to those of you on the East Coast, earthquake, missed it.
Well, you have the sound on there, so your sound.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I hear feedback.
I know in New York and environs, they felt the 4.8 Richter scale earthquake.
Oh, crazy.
Was it? I think it was yesterday.
Yeah. It was from New Jersey.
Of course. It was Chris Christie farting. But it was, yeah.
I felt bad because I normally don't check my phone, and I was in meetings all day, and I saw a call from Mom, and I was like, uh-oh. And then I realized, like, it was bad, yeah.
But it wasn't bad. I mean, all things, when you have an earthquake that's almost 5 on the Richter scale, and nothing happens except things shake a little bit, that's pretty great. Although, immediately, if I were Hochul, the governor of New York and governor of Jersey, I'd be like, okay, let's send some inspectors immediately to the Holland Tunnel.
All the
to
bridges,
Statue of Liberty.
There was a meme where the Statue of Liberty had fallen over, they had her fallen over. And
no, but there's also footage of the statue shaking a little bit. Because everything did. It shook.
Can you imagine being on being in the Empire State Building or being in the Statue of Liberty? Because you can still go up, right?
Well, yeah, or you said being on the subway. Although the subway, I figure when I just be like,
I'd be afraid if it collapses.
It's a bad track.
Ground,
But you don't know when you're on the subway. You just figure it's the subway. You say, they need to fix this patch of track. But that's it's lucky, this thing, because any point higher on the Richter, it's not like 4.8, 5.8, 6.8. Even a 4.9 over a 4.8 is a different significant level. But I haven't heard of one window broken.
I don't know. I think it just shook stuff. I think in New York, everything, because even my mother said, Mom, was it worse than a bus or truck? Because things shake a lot. There's a lot of movement.
Right, yeah.
It's a very, very alive city. And I don't know. She said the first thing she did was because of their heating situation in the past is she went downstairs. Right. Everybody looked at the basement.
My mom looked at the boiler.
Yeah.
She's been having so much trouble with this 80-year-old boiler they have in the house. I have to change this and fix this. For by all rights, the thing should have conked out 40 years ago. But she keeps it going. So she's worried. The boiler run again. And finally, no, it was still making heat. It was fine. And then she got a message from me. Hey, by the way, apparently there was an earthquake.
Well, look at our friend, New Jersey, called Mom, Maryland, she said that they had lost power, and I don't know if it was back. You know, they had because it happened in New Jersey.
Well, yeah, if you're closer to the epicenter.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm surprised. We must have felt it and not even know. I probably thought it was a garbage truck.
It didn't hit Maryland. They showed the waves.
And we didn't get anything at all.
And they were also afraid because I looked on a lot of social media, and all of the mayor's office-y stuff was saying sometimes be wary. There's aftershock. You know, not only the initial.
I think they got a 4.0 afterwards. They got 4.0 shock.
It happens. Remember we were in L'Aquila.
Oh yeah.
In Italy, and we saw the destruction, and it's a lot of times, even in Puerto Rico, it was a series of earthquakes, like Maria, all of the natural disasters didn't just stop. Not earthquake.
Was that? Oh, that was not a tsunami. What did they call it? The when Trump was handing out toweling paper. What was that? That was
Maria.
Hurricane, wasn't it? Or something like that. Yeah.
But they came in a series of them, so that's the scary part. For me, the one isn't bad, but you don't know if it's one of or it's going to be scary.
Yeah. So we survived earthquake 2024.
We survived earthquakes in Colorado because of they were fracking. So the fracking was related, at least is what people were saying, to the earthquakes. We had earthquakes there.
I wouldn't be shocked. Absolutely.
You were there. You had an earthquake. I wasn't there. I was traveling.
Yeah, I remember the house shaking a little bit. What the hell? And you kind of knew. I was like bang, and then and whoa. That wasn't like a car exploding. That wasn't. It was the earth going whoop, whoop. Earth needs an Alka-Seltzer today. And it wasn't a huge one, thank goodness. And it was, as you said, almost certainly caused, essentially man-made. That all these companies were going into the earth, pouring their shit down there, drilling and fracking and pulling. And at some point Mother Nature goes, I'm going to get back a little bit.
I don't think anyone died.
Greeley traded its soul. It said
they had a tornado a while ago in Colorado. That was bad, but I don't think anyone. I don't know if anyone died
in that particular.
I think earthquakes, people die when they're 7 point something and buildings collapse, right?
And also buildings, built in Ecuador or in Guatemala and shit.
It doesn't matter where they're built. It matters how they're constructed.
Yes, I'm saying Los Angeles.
In Manhattan, it's all the older buildings built in the 1800s are earthquake-proof. No.
But even the modern ones, there's a difference between a 4.8 and let's say a 6.2, which could be, as they say, the big one. San Francisco will get the big one again.
Earthquake that's bad. What's the?
Well, the San Francisco earthquake leveled.
Wasn't there one in Japan recently at 7?
Yeah, it did some bad stuff.
Yeah. So 7's maybe 7. I don't know the.
Yeah, I haven't really been following these things.
I can look in that. Let me ask
What we do on this program, though, because we do comedy, it's a mirthquake.
How do you rate an earthquake, and what's a really bad earthquake?
According to USGS.gov, for example, a magnitude 5.3 is a moderate earthquake, and a 6.3 is a strong earthquake. Because of the logarithmic basis of the scale, each whole number increase in magnitude represents a tenfold increase in measured amplitude as measured on a seismogram.
So every increment, is 0.1 is a.
A 4.8 magnitude trembler is not considered a major earthquake. Even minor shaking can cause damage. On the East Coast, which was, and they said go in doorways and do all of that. They gave that information, what to do to be safe on social media. I read that a lot, which was good.
Yeah, just in case, right?
Yeah.
But as I say, it was either LA or San Francisco. Within the next 50 years, let's say, they're going to have a massive quake. Now, granted, the buildings that have been built since the last LA earthquake that took the expressway down
They're safer,
but you can build a building that will withstand a 6.2. Can you build a building that would withstand an 8.2?
I don't know how you even know. I'm not an engineer. I'm not that smart thing, but how can you prove that?
We can't build a damn bridge that can withstand a ship.
I just think it's older.
Yeah. Anyway, let me remind you that you're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife Joyce. We're here live on this Saturday, April 6th, 2024, and let me tell you what's going to be on the program. Okay, I know the program's already half hour old, but So much more to do because, first of all, we have Greeley Times. We were just talking about Greeley, Colorado. Joyce and I lived there for about 13 years. Well, they have a newspaper there called the Greeley Tribune. And in that newspaper, they list every week.
What are you feeling today?
I'm feeling fine. What?
No, happy, blessed, loved, sad, lovely, thankful, excited, crazy, grateful, silly, festive, cool, relaxed, hopeful, tired, motivated. Give me a feeling.
A little tired, but also goofy. Is goofy one of them?
They have silly.
Silly, all right. Yeah. Feeling silly and a little tired. So what does that constitute?
It says David feeling silly. I'm going to do it.
All right. But speaking of silly, the silliest phone calls that come into the Greeley, Colorado Police Department are then compiled every week, and they do a column in the Greeley Tribune newspaper called Cop Log. And the newspaper shares it with its readers. I get that column online, and then I share the funniest ones with you guys in Greeley Times. So that's one of the segments coming up. We'll also have Bunion Watch, where Joyce and I will check the size and scope and color of the bunions on my feet to make sure that nothing has changed. We like to do that for you as a public service. Also, we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. We have a new limerick, ladies and gentlemen. It's Abbeyville. Abbeyville, Colorado. Going to tell you a little bit about it, and there's not that much to tell, and then going to do a horrible, tasteless poem about Abbeyville, Colorado. And then let's see, Dave's Big Dictionary, wherein Joyce is going to tell us the word of the day from Merriam-Webster's dictionary. They come up with an automatic word of the day, and then I have to talk about it extemporaneously for a couple of minutes, just whatever pops to the top of my head. Dave's Big Dictionary. I don't know if we'll have time to do story time. We might or we might not. But we're calling this episode Mintz Condition. That is the title of this episode. Mintz Condition. I might have gone with Mel's a poppin', but I think we already used that one. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this face, this person that you see up there behind me, Melvin G. Mintz. Now, months ago, I read a story about this guy in J. Moore magazine. This is a magazine of somewhat Jewish orientation that is put out by Johns Hopkins, the medical center in the university and all that. And it's available for free. It's a glossy mag, but you get it for free at various Johns Hopkins locations. And it's a story about him because he's a Marylander and has been for many years. And he lives in a town that's about, I think 15 miles away from us, called Pikesville. And Pikesville, like a couple of other places in northern Maryland, and Baltimore too, actually, as well as Owings Mills, places like that have been hubs of suburban Jewish communities, and especially Western Europe, Ashkenazic-based Jewish communities, for many years now. And so Melvin lives in Pikesville. He's a former councilman. He's actually a former real in-office politician. He's also an Army guy back in the day. He's also been a physical therapist for about 30, 40 years. He's retired now. But is he resting on his laurels? Is he just kind of mellowing out in his golden years? Not quite, because living in Pikesville, he wants to make Pikesville better. He wants it to be more walkable, more of a hub for restaurants and people centers and having an armory there. So he's founded or co-founded an organization called 1,000 Friends of Pikesville. So ladies and gentlemen, when I saw the story about Melvin G. Mintz in J. Moore, and when I saw that beautiful face, that proud, wonderful, hello, I'm Melvin G. Mintz and I want to save Pikesville. We thought, gotta get this guy on the show, especially since Joyce and I live in Maryland, not too far away, and we've never been. We have, at this point, we've lived here almost 2 years. We have not been to Pikesville, Maryland, and I really want to go. And if we wait, at some point, if this Pikesville thing takes hold, it'll be even more worth visiting Pikesville because there'll be more to do and we can walk around. So Melvin G. Mintz is going to be guesting with us live on Dave's Gone By in just a few, in a little while from now. I think he's coming on about 10:30. So we've been promoting him. We've been putting his face behind me on several programs just because to build up the excitement, to build up the anticipation of Melvin G. Mintz being on the program. Here, I know it's kind of hard to see him from behind me. You're going to see him. Here he is. Here's Mel. Mel coming to the Daverhood shortly to chat with the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York, and also someone who's been on this program from our very first episode all the way back in 2002. That's right, our show is 21 and a half years old at this point. This really is our 938th episode. If you're curious about some of the other episodes, or all of them, please go to davesgoneby.com, DAVESGONEBY.com. This is where, for free, you can stream or download every episode we've ever done, every interview we've ever done, every sketch, excuse me, every song, novelty song that we've cooked up, all our things, as well as Rabbi Sol's Rabbinical Reflections. They're all there in archives, connected archives, at davesgoneby.com. You can also catch our archives at archive.org. This is a not-for-profit website that we're not connected to, except that we have a little channel there, the Dave's Gone By channel, where all our archives, the same stuff, is at that website. So if davesgoneby.com ever goes down or is inaccessible, you can find all the same stuff at archive.org. If you're just looking for the audio of our programs, because for the first 16, 17 years, we were just a radio show, and we didn't add video until like 2017 or 18. So, but even after that, if you just want to listen to the program as a podcast, you might try Castbox.fm, because we have a channel there too. Castbox.fm. Again, it's free, but if you're on the go and you just want us as a podcast, that's a really easy way to just catch the show, get it on your device, on the train, in the car, at the gym, on the beach. Castbox.fm. So, and we also have our, pardon me, we also have our channel on YouTube. Later, I'll have to in a little while. Yeah, please. What?
No, I was going to say, do you want to do Greeley Crimes a bit? Or?
Yeah. Let me just get this thing out of my throat.
After this, we'll just don't do that. After this, we'll go to the. You want me to give you some seltzer?
Oh no, I got water. This is all water here. Thank you. And we also have a YouTube channel, which is fine, especially in recent years. All our shows are on YouTube. Our interviews are on YouTube too. You can find our stuff there. The problem is a lot of our older shows on YouTube are muted or blocked because we played music, and then suddenly out of nowhere, Columbia and Sony and BASCAP and BMI were like, well, we'll let everybody else put anything on YouTube, but when you have copyrighted music, we're going to mute you, which Facebook is now doing also. So a lot of the shows that we were doing when we were on college radio in Colorado, where we started doing the video, the live on Facebook, and was automatically on Facebook. Now, 5 years later, this week, I'm getting like a dozen emails from or notifications from Facebook telling me this is now blocked, because the owners of Bob Dylan's music rights, because we used to Bob Dylan sooner and later.
Maybe they were negotiating and they finally won the case or something.
I don't know. But and so I wrote to them.
It's probably AI looking through stuff. Right?
Yes, algorithms. So some computer that they have somewhere in Facebook or somewhere even in Columbia Records or Sony or what are the other things, these universal
I don't even know if
music
there are companies.
Yeah. But so now they find stuff. They find something that's been on Facebook for 5 years and they say, do you want to dispute this? I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. Because This was a radio program on a college station that had the rights to play music. That had, it was a college station, and it wasn't on even the terrestrial.
I'm not having a seizure, okay?
but it was like it was like a radio show. Remember radio? That was the point.
Radio
You played
Gaga.
records.
All we need is Radio Gaga.
Radio Goo Goo, radio, bullshit. Because it was kind of like So I'm telling them, it's like we turned the cameras on to share this, but it was a radio program on a college radio station that had for years played music, as college radio stations did. Now suddenly you're telling me that, this is now nobody can listen to it because it's an archive of a radio program, and it's like, and I'm not going to pay fucking fees for ASCAP and BMI to have my stuff on Facebook.
I'm sorry.
Go to hell.
No.
Yeah. But I'm disputing it. I'm saying, can you tell me how suddenly doing a radio show back then is now not listenable now because of rights?
There's so many issues because a lot of things are free. Like open access is becoming more popular, so people are paying for open access to things.
Wait, what do you mean paying for? Isn't that contradictory?
When you pay for articles to be listed open access, or if
Oh.
songs are open access, there's probably some negotiation you do with people.
Yeah.
But then there's also the thing of where I struggle. I remember like Metallica and all those bands. Like I never understood it, but when my work gets taken and people use my work and don't pay me royalties, I'm upset too because it's like you're taking bread from my table, right? Like so I think it's problematic because you want people to listen to you and use your stuff, but you don't want them to like take it.
Yeah,
so
because
it's really
not every artist is Metallica that makes millions and millions of dollars. If somebody puts a song on Spotify or somewhere and they're scrabbling by on $20,000 a year, every dollar that they don't get,
Or a lot of like the artists, there's a place where they find the hooks or the beat of a song and they take it and somebody makes it and then they make multi-million dollars with it. But you didn't create that.
Right. Well, that's why people get sued for sampling.
It's very, I think
it's tricky.
Because creative people want to create, but then we don't think like, oh gee whiz, like, because I often feel if I'm making this amount of royalties, there's a ton of money that is going into them. So if for every dollar I make or whatever I make, I need to figure out, I know in my contract, what is the publisher and other people getting? They're getting a lot more. Right? And then what they'll say is I heard someone say on one of the podcasts, well, they're paying for other things, right? They're paying for the artist, or they're paying for this, and they're paying for that. But it's very tricky. The whole
somebody wanted a copy of a book that you wrote.
Yeah.
I mean, a fellow academic person place, and it was sort of like, you want them to have to buy it because you want them to have it. So
that's disgusting.
But that's the thing. The ramifications of an author not even being able to send their own book to someone who wants it. You can't even get a bunch of copies of your own book. You get like 2 copies, and you have to buy the rest.
I have a lot. I'm going to put one in the basket for the thing.
But I'm saying it's like, academic publishing is one of the greatest grifts of all. Like, academics get nothing virtually for literally. There's no advance. You get nothing.
Social capital.
Yeah. Well, yes, it helps.
So you need it.
You up the rung.
It really is funny because like most places, so most institutions that I've been at, in order to get associate or full, you need to have a book from an academic press. So not just not like an academic press, but like university press, and like that's not happening anymore. Like it's a whole.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Well,
and like the university has all my books, which are ebooks. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what? I think they've changed the rules on all this. But back in the day, in order to get into Actors Equity or get a SAG card, I think you had to get a 5-line thing,
What does that mean?
Means you had to have a speaking part of like 4 or 5 lines, and then you get it, and then boom, that would count, and you would get your SAG card or your AFTRA card.
Yeah.
But when you did that film, if it was union to get you would get paid, and it would get you and then you take all your pay and give it to the union to get into the union.
An agent, like I never understood this whole deal. Why can't every actor just have an agent? Like agents, like, they could have 1 billion people and then just pull the person
They
they
do.
need for a job. Yeah.
They do. Well, what do you think? Agents handle dozens and dozens and dozens of performers. They still count on their performers to do, except until you're at a certain level, because you've got too many actors, and producers count on agents to weed and say, "I need this type. Whom do you represent? Because I only get 4,000 headshots over a transom.
So
Who are your
if
clients?"
they're gonna have, let's say they're doing a play,
Oh,
right,
yeah,
or
yeah,
a show or music or whatever.
yeah.
They're casting from agencies, not from individual calls.
Usually, yes. If it's the first thing they're going to go through is have a casting director, and that casting director will have a file of all
And
these
they
people.
go through people
and
they
the-
suggest. But
yeah.
then how come you see the images of all these actors standing outside waiting online to do
Because the equity also has a thing where
Yeah.
there's an equity call, and people who have their cards, who are members, get dibs. But very often after that, there will be a chance for people who don't have representation to try out as well.
But who really gets the parts? Are they the people with the representation?
Mostly.
Okay. I'm curious.
Because also people with representation, you figure, and the producers figure, the casting,
they get
that
training,
they're vetted, they're in it, they're professionals. Whereas this person who just walks off the street may be very talented, but untried, untested. So they're doing. There's an what they call an open call for Wicked going on right now, and touring stuff of the Broadway show Wicked. Yeah, so that for certain shows they'll do that. They want to find new, fresh talent that may not even be represented yet. An open call, anybody can go. As soon as you sign up.
You could try out for one of the lead roles.
I could, I could be Glinda.
You don't want to be painted green though.
I don't. No, I can't be Elphaba. No. I don't want to be. No, I could. I wouldn't. Because I hate makeup. Now, if I could smear myself with my own vomit, and to be legitimately green with my own juices.
David, please. People are eating breakfast. For God's sake, David.
Well, you know me. I don't like makeup, but vomit I don't mind.
There's something so wrong with that. Oh, I found the top of my drum set over there.
Oh, there we go. Oh, look, the nipple. The nipple on the top of Joyce's symbol.
It's the bibby.
There we go. Pop that thing on there. Oh, man. Screw that thing.
There we go.
There, yay.
Wonderful. This drum set is awesome. I love it.
Yeah, for literally for $5.
It's really fun. I wish we could get another. Do they have?
Yeah,
just as a backup, because she's going every which way now. Plus, it could be like some of those.
You could do like Led Zeppelin films, like
some
Bonham.
of the rock bands where they have multiple,
So next time we're in Valley,
maybe we'll go tomorrow. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
After this, let's just go to your.
All right.
Maybe we could eat your kelp chips.
Oh! Thank you for reminding me about that. Oh, I forgot to bring manatee from downstairs.
Let's try one. I want to try one.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Joyce.
You need a scissor.
Joyce knows I need variety. That I crave.
You're an Aquarian.
I'm an Aquarius, which I don't follow the star sign thing, but because I still never understand that Aquarius is supposed to be an air sign, but aqua is water. It's a water bearer.
Aquarians like novelties, so you can give them $1 million gift, but they like the box. They're like, oh,
which I did when I was a child.
Here are your safety scissors. Okay.
So Joyce tries to get me different things because she knows I appreciate new things. Yeah. So like we tried, what was it? There were some brownies that you tried last time from. They were good. Yeah. And they're not the best, but they were good.
They're rich. They're very rich.
Because they're dark chocolate. They're not even milk.
For me, also when you have all that congestion, to have less milk is good.
Yeah, but I'm trying to bring up the vomit to cover myself with. But
stop with that.
However, she also found in this place. Look at this. Organic kelp snacks.
Look at the name of the company. 12 Tides.
12 Tides. I don't know what that is. That the moon?
Tides, like tides.
Oh. Yeah, but why 12?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
And they're chili pepper.
If it's something scary, I'm not going to tell you. What does 12 Tides mean?
According to 12 Tides, if you have a favorite retail store where you'd like to see 12 Tides, please let us know by emailing hello@12tides.com.
Hello, 12 Tides. So we're going to try this.
Oh, we're kelping our oceans one bite at a time.
That's very nice. And what's interesting is I think they have a resealable bag, which is kind of funny because this whole bag is 2 ounces.
We can get 15% off the next order.
All right.
Thank you. Story, let's see.
Kelp. I eat some snacking kelp. Not just any
they have
packing.
Sea otters too.
Oh, their vision. How am I doing this off camera? Okay, it opens, And does it reclose? It actually does. There's like 10 chips in here, but they reclose the bag. All right, let's try this.
Oh, they have sea salt. They have everything, which I didn't see.
Oh, yeah.
They have, these are the chili pepper. They have truffle and pepper and vegan cheddar. And they have one where you can get a whole variety pack.
Oh, I would like that. But
No, but
we
variety
don't
pack,
like this
you get a variety pack of bags.
Yeah, okay. But we're going to try the chili pepper, ladies and gentlemen, see how hot it is.
I'm going to tell you what it says.
Yeah.
It says our puffed, it's got 81 5-star reviews.
Ooh.
Our puffed kelp chips with a kick of chili pepper.
Yep. Here, potato, you want to give us?
I have one too.
See, Potato's going to love this. Let me, the potato first. Hold on.
Yes.
Because he's still upset over, you know what, mission, you know
Well,
where.
you did it. You're not them.
Chili. Again. But here, I'll give him a puff. Hold on. Here you go.
Ooh, oh, they're nice. Look at the texture.
Well, they're kelpie.
They smell hot though.
Well, yeah. So do you have a beverage just in case?
Yeah.
Okay. Potato, want to try it?
David, no.
Taste.
No. Too hot for him. Too hot for him. What are you doing?
Are you trying to kill me, bitch? I'm sorry, Potato. He's in a mood. All right, look. How is it? Is it? Oh.
Spicy.
It's got a seaweedy undercurrent.
It tastes like the wrapper of sushi.
Yeah.
I like it. It's too hot for me though. But
Yes.
Do you like the heat? Woo!
Oh, we should not have done this on the air.
It's hot, right?
Oh shit! Hold on.
Have a drink.
No, I'm not gonna have a drink. I'm not gonna have another right now.
Woo!
Okay.
It's a nice combination of spicy, hot, but also I like the seaweed
And kelpie, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
Nice.
It's the kind of thing I could get into if I were eating one after the other and get that.
Whoa!
Yeah, no, honey, no. Yeah.
It just kicked in the second one.
There's fire coming out of my ass right now.
That's the second time.
Oh boy. It's actually not that hot, but it's hot enough if you haven't had anything to eat yet. Well, all right, like a little bit of breakfast.
That's lovely.
They're good. They're very good. They're just like, I'm not going to be eating these on the air. Oh, hell no. Do you want another one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm can't. I need to do a show.
Oh, another one. Let me see.
But enjoy. They're good.
Yeah, I think it's very nice. Just one more.
I certainly want to try one of the other flavors. That would
Don't
be.
eat this thing. This is like the flavor pack in here.
Oh, silica. Let me give that to Potato. He might like
Yeah,
this.
you might like that.
Potato, would you like? Oh, you're dangling from my last thread today, Dabby. I know.
Whoa!
My apologies. Here, look. Have some. This won't be spicy. This will be nice and dry and tasty. I mean, he's made of stuffing. How bad could it be?
Oh my god.
Good stuff.
Good.
Potato, is it good? You know, because silica gel will. But yeah, he's doing fine. I know. Yeah, it gets you. Joyce just saying another chip, and
That's good.
yeah.
I like it. It's very unique.
Yeah. So we have.
I like the flavor. Yeah. Try another one.
Well, no, I can't. Literally, I'm going to be like, I got to keep my mouth working. That's what she said. So let me see. We're ocean lovers at heart. That's why we set out to make tasty, nutrient-dense snacks using kelp from regenerative ocean farms.
Oh, they have a kelp farm. David, this is from a kelp farm.
I get by with a little kelp from my friends. Gonna try with a little kelp from okay. Regenerative ocean foods.
I should have brought manatee up for this.
That's what I thought. We have a little rubber manatee.
You want me to get him?
Yes. Kelp absorbs carbon. Well, if you're gonna go down, make it, do the tea and do the thing, and so you don't have to go up and down, up and down.
I'll go down twice because I want to get manatee real quick.
Kelp absorbs carbon from the ocean. I did not know that. Reversing acidification and supporting biodiversity. So even in the oceans, my friends, we have DEI now, which is kind of nice. Zero input crop. What? Kelp farming requires no pesticides no fertilizers, no arable land or Israeli land, and no fresh water. What? So they use it in crappy water and no water. I mean, you need water for kelp. We should have a kelp farm, huh? Joyce is looking for our little cute rubber manatee.
I think you have 2 candidates for the kelp eating.
Oh, I know who else. Of course I know who else. Joyce is bringing... Here we go. By the way, we're not doing a commercial here. We're just trying this to try this. I forgot. First of all, we have axolotl.
Kelp.
Now, axolotls do eat meat. Axolotls would like, Mission barbecue.
They might like that as an appetizer. They like spicy.
And then, of course, our friend Manatee.
Can you do
who's
spicy
got the eyeball.
now? Yeah, can you do spicy?
I don't know what it would do to them. He has a blowhole, so if there's smoke to come up.
Spicy.
It might be like birds, where squirrels don't like spicy, but birds don't notice it. They don't mind it. So let me give Manatee some kelp chips. Do you realize, folks, like I'm 60 years old and I'm doing this shit? What's wrong with me? But this is amazing. No pesticides, no fertilizers, no land, no fresh water. So they can grow this stuff in like brackish pea or something. How does that work? I guess you can just fill it, I think, with, it's a nutrient-rich food.
I don't understand.
Because it's kelp and not seaweed, and I really don't know the difference.
Here, give me your phone, I'll scan it.
Yeah, here you go.
They got a thing, maybe a video or something.
Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
What?
Cayenne, that's what I'm tasting.
Oh, yeah. By the way, it's 10 o'clock Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my wife, Joyce. The 938th episode of Dave's Gone By. So, and we're calling it Mintz Condition, because in just about half an hour, we will be chatting with former politician, and activist Melvin G. Mintz, along with Rabbi Sol Solomon. Plus, we have Greeley Times. Plus, we have our Colorado Limerick. Plus, we have Dave's Big Dictionary. And I think we'll skip story time, but we'll start doing some story times again, probably around the time when Passover happens, because we've got a lot of cool books for that. And maybe Rabbi Sol will start doing the story times. But let's see, what else do we need to cover? That's all right. It's okay. So let's get to, as you mentioned, it's already 10 o'clock. Let's get to Greeley Times, because Joyce and I lived in Greeley, Colorado for a bunch of years. And so and I wish I'd known much, much earlier. I had no idea this existed. But they took a column in the Greeley Tribune every week to strip the identifiers of the folks who called in problems to the local police department. And the funniest, most ridiculous problems and phone calls wound up in this weekly column called Greeley Coplog. And we call it Greeley Times. Joyce had like 2 or 3 of these chips, and she's like,
I feel it.
Oh man, I'm still. It wasn't that hot, but I still feel it on my tongue.
The cayenne pepper is a hard pepper to.
Yeah.
You feel the cayenne.
Well, hold on. This is whoa.
What?
That's pretty hot. Well, it's a newspaper. Get it? It's a newspaper. That's a joke right there. Now I thought I heard the phone going. Oh. There it is. I'll answer the Manatee phone. Is a caller at a rec center on 65th Avenue.
Why is
Wait.
Manatee in Greeley?
What?
It's landlocked.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually you use your chicken phone here.
Oh, sorry. I couldn't get it. It's okay.
One more.
I also have axolotl phone. Oh no, I got my chicken phone. Let me put it in my earbud there.
Yeah, you have like your chicken phone.
My chick bud.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So a caller at a rec facility on 65th Avenue said an older man with a white beard was pleasuring himself in the men's locker room.
Santa.
Here comes Santa Creep. Here comes Santa Creep. Yes, I made that same punchline for a different one last week. So those of you scoring at home, that's 2 Santa Creep references in 2 weeks. But ew. Alrighty then. I mean, yeah, I have to go for a swim. Sometimes I don't even want to. I guess you're playing pickleball. All right. Oh. Yeah. Hello. Where are you 8? No. Oh, it's not 8th and 8th. It's 10th and 10th. Wow, that deserves an alert there. A caller at a church on 10th and 10th said that people were arguing out front as a woman was taking her clothes off. That is my kind of church social. That is my kind of collation, ladies and gentlemen. I just love the idea of people like arguing and screaming at while a woman is just kind of disrobing.
That reminds me of when you did your show at that art house place.
Yeah.
Remember they had fire throwers and all sorts of.
Oh yeah.
And they had belly dancing.
Yeah.
So it was like maybe it's a new blessing.
Excuse me. Ooh yeah.
It might have been a new
wrinkle. They want people to come to church, and hell, if there were naked women, I would go to shul.
I think it's outside or something. It was not related.
Yeah, you don't think so? It wasn't one of the hymns or hers. Oh, well, this isn't a phone call.
Oh.
Amazing enough, there's a report of someone who went to the police department on foot. They came themselves.
They still allow people in the police station? Don't you have to
You have to go through. But a person visited the Greeley Police Department to report he was hypnotized.
Ooh.
So he had a premonition. Drugs are bad, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just tell you right now, drugs are bad. Yeah. Now he may have been right about this part. So he goes to the Greeley Police Department to say that he's been hypnotized. He had a premonition that people were being held captive in the dorms off 18th Street. And he also said the culprit was a man named Spaghetti.
Oh, not Spaghetti.
Not Spaghetti. And his lieutenant Al Dente.
No, my mother's. That was they bastardized my mother's last name when she was in nursing school.
Yeah.
Which sounded like it was
spaghetti.
not like spaghetti, but they called her Spaghetti because they were just racist or ethnicist. That's horrible.
Not horrible. It's what kids do.
I mean, they were nursing students, David. This wasn't,
Oh, this wasn't like when she was
in nursing school.
Oh,
yes.
I thought she was like in elementary school.
No.
That's awful.
That's
I mean, it's cute.
I know.
Well, they weren't being racist. They were just
awful.
poking fun.
It's awful.
All right.
And we're not even Italian, and we eat spaghetti, but it's not our
I
primary.
mean, believe me, I was called Lefko Tits when I was in elementary school by Jewish kids. All right, let's get back to the phone. We do have a phone call. We have a phone call. A caller on 22nd Avenue. Let me get it.
You're wearing your chicken.
I'll get the strip phone on this one. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. This is from 22nd Avenue. A caller said a man was carrying around a wooden stick and acting strange.
I think that's called like a cane or
Yeah,
something. Like
it's called being old.
I mean, why are you, that's...
And what is Joe Biden doing on 22nd Avenue? I don't know. All right, I got another call. Wow. This guy's consistent. I'll get the manatee on this one. Yeah, a caller on 23rd Street said a truck pulled up and the driver exposed himself and started urinating. I'm glad it was in that order.
No, but I think you have to do that to do it.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the. Yeah. He's like, was he going hello, or was this just like, oh, I've got to pull this out because I've got to pee real bad.
That's probably more like it.
Well, we're certainly getting some interesting drivers and people today.
A lot of action on the street today.
So we have here an alert. But it's not one of it's one of our new alerts. It's typical. It's a brand new kind of alert, and I'm quite excited about this. This is, and I'm excited. I'm excited to say this. This is a redundancy alert. Yes. What it means is that the following item from the Greeley Tribune has kind of an automatic redundancy in it.
Yeah.
A caller on 10th Avenue reported his roommate had anger issues and was slamming doors and punching holes in the drywall. So, the thing is, you don't really need to say that he has anger issues. If he's slamming doors and punching holes in the drywall, we can infer, as an English teacher, we can infer from that yes, the man has some issues with rage. I think that's pretty clear. Yeah. Speaking of anger, I'll get this one on the chicken. Yeah. Well, a caller on 26th Avenue said that a man was outside looking into trucks, but the man started screaming when he saw her. Can you be arrested for ugliness? I don't know what the... It was like maybe he just got stunned. He thought that it'd be empty. Yeah. He's expecting the thing to be empty, and then he's like, ah! It's like, I don't know. I don't. More anger. We have a lot of angry people. I'll take the manatee for this one. A caller on, wait, I'm half deaf in this here. Why am I using this here? A caller on 16th Street said his girlfriend slashed his tires and released his dog into the wild because she thought he was cheating. Well, he called back later and admitted he lied and the dog was with him.
So he lied that she released the dog?
Yeah, he said she took my dog and let him out.
What was the other part?
Well, that she slashed his tires.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if that part was true or not, or he did it himself, or if he cheated or not.
Dr. Phil.
See, this is one of those where I wish there was more information or more follow-up.
Yeah, they need Dr. Phil.
Yeah, or they need a good divorce attorney at that point. If she's slashing his tires but not giving his dog away. Maybe he just thought the dog was gone, and then he went upstairs and was like, ruff, and found it. In the bathtub with his paws cut.
No, that's really unusual.
Yeah. Okay. A caller. I'll get the Mission Barbecue phone on this. Oh. Yeah. Where's this? Oh, a convenience store. Okay, we'll be right there. A caller at a convenience store on 10th Street said a man kept going up to the ATM and going through all his cards, but he never made any transactions. The caller said the man had 3 different wallets.
Wow.
What's in your stolen wallet?
In my father's kingdom, everyone will have 3 wallets. That's cool.
Well, in a manner of speaking.
Oh, they weren't his own. I get it.
Well, yeah. Do women walk around with like an extra? There's a purse, a money purse, and then like the credit card purse, right? Or no? Back in the day, women used to do that. They used to have 2 different things, right?
Really?
They have a coin purse,
I have a coin purse with all my cards because I like to get my cafe.
Right. Well, I think there used to be 2 separate things. Men always just carried like wallet, and they stuffed shit into it.
Some men carry a money clip, and then they carry a wallet too.
You're right. That's true. In fact, I used to do that. I used to keep a billfold thing.
Yes, you did.
Separate from my credit cards and things. So yeah, I guess I did.
Our honeymoon.
Oh, in Hawaii, I did.
Plane in Texas, yeah.
In Texas.
You lost your billfold when we changed in Texas.
I didn't even remember changing in Texas. We didn't go straight to Hawaii.
No, remember? Because there was a girl on the plane who had she was with 3 other girls that were going to Hawaii, but she had some kind of, I don't know if she had
TMJ?
No, like a molar, or she was in searing pain, like tooth pain, like something happened. I don't know. It was more than a cavity. It was something bad. Maybe she had an infected tooth or something, and she was like really in a discomfort. And then they had got off the plane at first, and then you were sleeping, as you always do, and you slept, and probably your money clip fell out of your
Yeah. Never found it, right?
I don't know if we found it. Maybe.
Huh. I'm remembering that. I didn't remember that was on our honeymoon. I thought it was like from another
No,
trip.
yeah, it was the honeymoon, and then I remember the kids didn't make the second flight. They were
Well,
I think they all didn't go because they were trying to help her. She was in bad pain. It was bad.
well, yeah. Well, maybe they give her tooth serum.
I don't know what he did. I mean, she needed like surgery.
Ah, yeah. Ugh. Now, it's 10:15. We're in the middle of Greeley Times, and we've been doing all these wonderful phone calls that came into the Greeley Police Department. But as part of Greeley Times, we also do an elsewhere, which means this is a call or a news story that is silly and crazy and weird that has nothing to do with Colorado. Could have been anywhere else in the world. So, but this time, Joyce alluded to this earlier in the show. Our elsewhere story comes from Horsham, Pennsylvania. And this is reporting everywhere. It's reporting USA Today, this particular version of the story. Well, we all know that Friday morning, the East Coast was jolted by a actually, no, oh, do you have the, Yeah. Oh, wait, those are those are the ones. Yes. We have two of these? Oh. The East Coast was jolted by a 4.8 magnitude earthquake. Yes, fine handcrafted toy here. All right. While plenty of people took to social media to discuss feeling unprepared and surprised, one man had more to lose than just about anybody else. Justin Allen of Horsham, PA, was visiting the Urology Health Surgery Center in Huntington Valley. He wasn't just visiting, by the way. He was in the middle of yes. Joyce is getting it. I'll thank you. Joyce, he was in the middle.
Here, David.
This almost doesn't go quite around my head. Of getting a vasectomy.
Or maybe this one.
Oh yeah.
And that's exactly how it looked. That's a great reenactment.
Thank you very much.
With a chicken too.
Actually, it was a rabbi doing it, so it was more like no. But he was in the middle during the earthquake of getting a vasectomy.
Many people were in surgery during the earthquake.
Yeah, I mean, it must happen all the time, everywhere when these things happen. People are gonna be in doctor's office.
But can you imagine if you're right at that point where it's like some fine, fine moment, and then.
I mean, imagine you're trying to commit suicide, right? So you're in the tub, you've got the razor, and you want to make a nice, smooth cut down the things that you bleed out, and then suddenly it's like, zigzag.
It seems like you're making a cake and doing icing or something,
But that's correctable in a manner of speaking. A vasectomy, which I guess is reversible.
Yeah, but not if they cut off some.
Oh yeah. The room started to shake. The surgeon sort of froze.
I would have thought I was under anesthesia. I would have thought I was just high.
I would figure. I didn't realize they keep you awake during.
I guess they do.
Oh man. So Alan told USA Today, quote, "All of us seemed a bit confused, and everything stopped. Right. At first, Alan thought the shaking was a train passing by, or maybe the boiler of the building. Yeah. And even when the surgeon said, 'Oh, that's got to be an earthquake,' I thought he was joking." So everyone paused for a few seconds, and then the shaking subsided, and they all had a good laugh, and then they finished the procedure. And I kind of giggled about it all the way through, because that's what you want when you're doing a delicate piece of surgery on your genitals. Let's just all have a good rollicking chuckle about what's going on.
The guy or the doctor? The guy?
Who what?
The guy posted it.
The guy posted, yeah. Oh. And after the surgery, Alan posted his story on Twitter with the title, "A fucking earthquake happened in the middle of my vasectomy," unquote. And it got 3 million hits in half a day. Including, he got a lot of inappropriate jokes for reply, which drove him nuts. But mostly supportive and funny comments. And Alan's wife later tweeted, quote, "This is a clear and obvious sign we should not have any more kids." You know, if that's happening right then and there, it's like, yeah. So, but it's true. I mean, you've got to figure all these things when there were blackouts. And people, you read about these surgeries that take 12 to 15 hours because they're so delicate, and then suddenly power. I mean, you get all the house generators.
Probably have backup generators, but I think that's scary.
Yeah. But imagine you're in the middle of like brain surgery,
I know.
and the room starts to shake.
Yeah. Or heart surgery. Yeah.
Or you're delivering an infant or something, and everything's going well, and then suddenly like a shaken baby syndrome. Because like you're holding it steady, but the room is going, and the baby comes out like, who do you blame?
That's a mess.
Yeah. Anyway, let's do one or two more Greeley Times, and then we gotta get on with more of the show. So,
Oh wow.
Where are you? Oh, they're at a restaurant. Where? 8th Avenue. Said a man whom police arrested the night before for lighting a fire had returned. Guess what he was trying to do?
Light a fire.
Yes, he was trying to light a fire.
You gotta be consistent.
Come on, baby, light another fire. Come on, baby, light another fire. Trying to set that. Yeah, that was always a bad rhyme if you think about it. He could have rhymed something else with fire.
I know that.
Trying to set the night on fire. Yes, you're like, yeah. Pyre.
Liar.
Funeral pyre. He uses funeral pyre. Come and join the holy choir. Or if I...
You play the lute, I'll play the lyre.
Lyre. Good. There you go. You be the knight and I'll be your squire. Yeah, right. Let's move to Africa and live in Zaire.
Oh, I like that.
You can't possibly like that. But I'm just saying, it occurs to me now. He could have, it's like, fire.
If you want to recruit people to the band, you need to make a flyer.
Good. Yes.
If I'm your lord, you must call me sire.
Yeah. And these rhymes are getting kind of dire. Anyway. All right, one more, and then we'll table this, because I'm at a table. A caller, caller on 13th Street Road. Really? So the car crashed through the caller's fence. 4 girls jumped out and ran off in all directions.
Wow.
And the guy told the cop, yeah, forget the car, just find the girls. But
that's like a bad spring break.
It is. They're joyriding, and these or maybe in their own car. It doesn't say that the car was stolen.
No.
But just, they probably took one kid's car, going too fast, too drunk, and kaboom. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, no, one more. Gotta do this one more, because we're going to end on an alert. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a redundancy alert before. Now, we have a surrealism alert. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a surrealism alert. I think this is also the first time we've ever done one of these. A caller on 44th Avenue said a black cat with a white mustache came into her house through the dog door. She called the cops about this. So think about this. This is like Magritte. There's like a black cat with a white mustache
Smoking a cigar.
coming through the dog door.
You'd be like, pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?
It's like if Louis Buñuel did animations, it's like, okay, fine. Anyway,
I could see whiskers. Maybe they were whiskers.
Well, cats do have those kinds of weird markings.
Mustache. I don't think it's like a...
If the cat had sideburns, then that would really actually be surreal.
Billy Ray Cyrus cat.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that for this Saturday morning is Greeley Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
He was not.
I'm sure that you'll agree with me.
I do.
That Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi!
Yippee-yi, 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 yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Yes, my friends, the day has gone by. Facebookio, podcastio, programmio of the stream. With me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, Joyce, and we've got Rabbi Sol Solomon joining us in the Daverhood very shortly. As let me just check my mail to make sure that we've got our guest.
Give me your phone. That's my phone, I think. Oh, no, this is your phone.
Yeah,
Where's
my
my
phone.
phone? Oh, my phone's there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So, we have a couple of minutes before Melvin G. Mintz joins us in the Daverhood. I'm beside myself because I have double vision without my glasses, so I see parallax. But yes. Plus, we do have our Colorado Limerick the Damned coming up, where we're going to go to Abbeyville, Colorado, for a really gross poem. And we have our friends the Daverhood to do, and Dave's big dictionary. We haven't. Do you want to give me that word?
I will.
Because we'll do it today. I don't think we'll do story time, but we'll do the dictionary.
I'll give you the word. I sent it to you.
Oh.
No,
I can look at it.
Right. No, don't.
Cool. So tell me what it is. So Joyce is getting the random Merriam-Webster's Dictionary word of the day. Oh, I gotta look this one up because I've heard the word.
You have your dictionary?
Yeah, it's here. It's all the way over on the other end of the table. Hold on. I gotta get it. It's, this is a good word. It's a word I should know better because I've heard it in a different form of the word.
Really?
So, yeah, because the word that you've chosen, it's,
You
or,
have no emails, honey, in your email. I looked.
thank you, babe.
This is your
Oh,
phone.
hon. Our guest is going to be coming.
Okay.
So we're in great shape. We're in amazing shape. So, but let me just look up this word real quick. The word is redoubt. Because I've heard redoubtable. But
A safe or protected place, it says.
Is that really what it is?
But I don't understand how that word that sounds like a verb, but it's working as a noun.
Yeah,
I don't
it's a
get
noun.
that.
Well, wait. And it's redoubt.
Yeah.
Redoubt. A small, usually temporary fortification. So if something is redoubtable, it's formidable, but it also inspires dread. So redoubtable means that it's like something you're facing that's formidable, but a redoubt is just this place that is at least temporarily fortified.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be tough. But thank you for it. That's a good, strong, difficult word. And I'm a good, strong, difficult person. My name is Dave Lefkowitz. I'm leaving the Daverhood for a moment to bring in the one, the only Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon, of blessed memory, because he is going to be doing the interview with Melvin G. Mintz, former politician, current activist for Pikesville, Maryland. Should be a lot of fun. So next voice you hear is going to be extraordinarily Jewish. Oh, shalom, my friends, and shalom, my enemies, and shalom to all of you everywhere. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon. And what a delight, how much fun we're going to have today, because we have with us a Maryland citizen and denizen. Let me make sure you've got to unmute your mic there, but once we do that, we will be live with Melvin G. Mintz of Pikesville, Maryland, my friends. So he's smiling, he's good, it's good to see you. I wish you, first of all, a very good and Zissin Shabbos. Let me introduce you properly here, or improperly as the case may be. Former Baltimore City Councilman, who was also in the military, also a former physical therapist. So if you could maybe look at this shoulder later, that would really be helpful. And he has been a mortgage specialist. He now lives in Pikesville, Maryland. Won't you please welcome to the Daverhood, Melvin G. Mintz. Shalom, Melvin.
Shalom, Rabbi. Good to meet you. Pleasure to be with you.
Pleasure to be with you on this Shabbos too. So let me ask you, Melvin, how long have you lived in Pikesville, Maryland?
I've lived in Pikesville since 1975.
So was it rural back then? Was there almost nothing and they just built it, or what was it like?
Not when I moved into Pikesville. It was not rural. It was a suburban village with a lot of residential around it, a commercial core along what's called Reisterstown Road. Kind of an old-fashioned commercial village in the suburbs of Baltimore City. This was in Baltimore County. I was a member, as you said, but of the Baltimore County Council. It's different than the City Council.
Oops! I already made a mistake today.
You didn't make a mistake. You didn't make a mistake. That's why they put erasers on pencils, Rabbi.
So here, let me ask you a question though. What brought you? Have you always been a Marylander? Or?
Yes, I was born in Baltimore City.
Oh yeah.
And then when married, moved out to the county in Pikesville.
So you've chosen over your life to live and stay in Baltimore County and environs, Baltimore City and Baltimore. What do you love about, why Maryland? Because if someone with your life would have moved, you were in the Army, why this particular state?
Well, it's predominantly family. That's where my family raised me, and my mom and pop raised me in Baltimore City. So I've always been there, and my wife is from Baltimore City as well. So we stayed put.
So let me ask, how Jewish were you raised, and how Jewish are you now?
It's mostly a cultural thing, Rabbi. Was raised to continue the traditions and the observances to some degree of my family. And it's no great religious epiphany that occasioned that, but I consider myself a committed Jew.
Yes, I'm a Jew, simply committed. So that's a little bit.
Could have fooled me. Could have fooled me, Rabbi.
Thank you very much. So do you are you a Yom Kippur Jew? Like you? That's the one.
Yes, I very much. What's the word I want to use? Observe Yom Kippur very assiduously. I fast the 24 hours, and God willing, I'm still able to do that. And
75 hours. That's the problem. In America, you're supposed to give that extra hour. I'm like, no, I gotta eat. After
24 is good enough. I think you'll understand. It's okay.
Yeah. What about Passover? Do you do a Seder? Do you go to a Seder?
Well, to lack of divulging all my religious observances, I do keep Passover to a certain degree. I do not eat any bread or pasta, that kind of thing. And, it reminds me of an old joke about when God said you should keep kosher. And Moses said, I got it, Rabbi, I got it. So what we do is we put the meat over here on one side and we put the milk over here on the other side. God said, no, Moses, you don't understand. You shall not eat the meat of the child bathed in the milk of the mother. And Moses says, oh, I got it. So you cook the meat first, and then you put the milk over here on the other side. Moses, listen to me. You shall not eat the meat of the child bathed in the milk of the mother. And Moses says, oh, I got it, God. So you dig a hole, and you put the meat in one hole. When you get rid of it, and you put the milk in, Moses, do whatever the hell you want. And that's why we have all these different ways of observing Pesach.
That's not so much a joke as more of a parable, like a modern rabbi would say. This is why Orthodox.
Use it.
Yeah.
Use it, Rabbi. It's good. It's all right.
I'll steal. Invariably, I'll steal from anywhere that I can, possibly. So, but let me ask you. Also, in terms of, I know Pikesville and places like Owings Mills and Reisterstown are rather Jewish areas. Would you say that it's a fairly large population, or just comparatively, because Jews are only 2% of the population to begin with?
Yeah. Comparatively is the accurate description, Rabbi. It used to be a lot more concentrated in Pikesville. Perhaps in my day back then, it may have been 40% or so Jewish.
Wow.
I would guess now it's down to about 15 or so, 20, something in that neighborhood, just a guess.
There goes the neighborhood. Yeah.
Well, now just the dispersion of everybody going to different environs. It's not like the old days where you grew up in one little neighborhood and you stayed there throughout generations.
But you've stayed. So,
Well, I stayed in the general vicinity, but one of the motivations, speaking of Jewishness, one of the motivations for me getting in public life was my observation of our people in Baltimore, starting out in what's called South Baltimore, in the old row houses and very deep in the city. And then another generation moved a little further north and stayed there in the city. And then another generation or so moved a little further north in the city. And then another generation or so moved to Pikesville. And my observation led me to a motivation to get involved in public life, to try to make that one last stop, Pikesville, the kind of last stop. It's enough leapfrogging over each neighborhood to get to somewhere for whatever reason, to another locale. And so that was one of my motivations for getting in public life, was to try to sustain that hometown of Pikesville for more generations.
So this is even before the current Pikesville, and wow, there's a lot of feedback on that speak of that. But this is before the current Thousand Friends of Pikesville thing. This is when you first became a county council person.
Interested in getting involved in public life and activities. That's what was one of my motivations. And in fact, when I did get into the county council, one of the things I'm most proud of is the very first revitalization plan for the hometown of Pikesville that I adopted in the late 80s, early 90s. And it led to it brought a bit new investment into this old established commercial core and sustained its viability for another generation, which I'm very proud of.
So in other words, you could point to saying, oh, that group of restaurants, that business came here, this created 40 jobs or something like that, that whole sort of thing, right?
Yes, that's about the size of it, yeah.
So,
and I'm very proud of it.
Did you like politics, or was it more when you got through your hands felt dirty, even though you accomplished a lot?
So it depends on how deep in history you want to go with me. So it all started, Rabbi, in a little town in Iranian Russia.
That's going back, all right. Iranian Russia.
My grandfather was the mayor of that little shtetl.
Wow.
And he was very popular. And then the Russian Revolution happened, etc. More pogroms happened, and so the family, no longer an important big shot in Iranian Russia, decided to leave for America. And one of my first cousins, who was the son of my mother's sister, became a state senator.
Here.
And I was here, yes. And I was a young boy, so I was enamored and thrilled that my first cousin, I'm so proud of him, became a state senator. And so in the blood is what it's about. And seeing my first cousin and his success and his service drew me to politics.
Do you regret it? Or was
No,
it...
not at all. So what I considered it, people don't know about Baltimore County, but I represented about 100,000 people on a county council that was made up of 6 other members, all representing 100,000 people. Baltimore County does not have an incorporated town in it. Baltimore City is completely separate. It's very unique. There's only 3 places in the whole country like it. There is no incorporated town. There's no Tacoma Park in Baltimore County. Name me a town somewhere that you know of. They have a town council. So each council member thus becomes almost the mayor of their little district in Baltimore County. So there's a lot of ability to influence events as a result of that structure.
I mean, did you have to do, not have to, but did you get to do ribbon cuttings and things?
Oh yeah. That was one of the more enjoyable things. And but back to the service. back to the service.
Yeah.
I always regarded it as a glorious burden. You got a lot of it. You got a lot of attention, and you went to a lot of ribbon cuttings, and people patted you on the back. But there was a lot of
And be
stress.
how many silly cook-offs? How many pies did you have to taste, kosher or not? Yeah, that kind of thing.
There was a lot of hot dogs, a lot of corned beef sandwiches.
Oh, hey, you know, I'm in. I'm getting into politics. If I get free corned beef, I'm in.
You kidding me? Are you kidding me?
If they make it pastrami, I'll be a lifelong. But you couldn't get me out of office at that point.
So we can bribe you with a pastrami sandwich. Is that right,
Bribe me with
Councilman?
half a pastrami sandwich. I'm telling you. We're talking with Melvin G, ladies and gentlemen. It does occur to me, I've totally blanked on this, but or I don't know if this is true or not. But earlier, or a few years ago on this program, we had a broadcaster by the name of Elliot Mintz. Have you ever heard of him? Any relation to him?
Not that I know of. There was an old actor a million years ago, and this is way back in the day. There was a television show called, I think, The Goldbergs.
Oh, yeah.
There was a Molly Goldberg.
Yeah.
And there was an actor, I think he was like the grandfather. His name was, I don't think it was Elliot Mintz. Forgot his name. It was something Mintz. And we always called him Uncle Irv or whatever his name was.
Even though he's not.
No, not that we know of.
What's your name, your family name, when they were in Oriri in Russia?
We don't know. We don't. Yeah. Well, the Iranian part was my mother's side, Saperstein. My father's name, Mintz. They were from Białystok, Poland. Oh. They weren't quite so famous, but I think there was a rabbi of Mintz in Białystok, and he came to Cleveland way back in the day. So
I think his name was Mintz. That was his actual name.
No, that's a good tip. So what we did, rabbis, when we ran for county council, I handed out breath mints, and my slogan was "Freshen up government with mints."
Boom! Boom! I love this man. He's got the humor. He's got the Jewishness. He's got the good ideas. So, 40-something years ago, you were on the council to help revitalize Pikesville. But now, why do you have to revitalize Pikesville again? What's missing?
Okay, that's what brings us to kind of today. And we accomplished a lot of things in my service on the county council while I was in office for those 8 years from 86 to 94. And again, as I said, established the very first revitalization plan in all of Baltimore County, which led to a significant amount of success. So I had lunch about 12 or 13 years ago with an old colleague, and we were shooting the breeze one day over lunch. And I contended back in 2012 to this fellow, we need a new revitalization plan. We haven't had one for 2 decades in Pikesville. And so this guy challenged Mel Mintz very effectively, but said, "You did it once, Mel, do it again." And so that's all I needed to challenge me to try to effectuate a new revitalization plan. So we began that process that was needed in 2012. And long story short, finally accomplished a very historic revitalization plan that was adopted by the county council. Believe it or not, took 9 years of work to get the county council in Baltimore County to adopt a new revitalization plan for Pikesville.
Well, how much does something like that cost? Is it $2 million? Is it $10 million? I mean, what does it mean? What? Good
question. So the cost of creating and drafting the plan is virtually minimal. It's just a plan.
Well, yeah.
The cost of doing it is a different story. It's very difficult to place a number on it. There are about a dozen or so what I call action items in this plan. And they all have each a kind of a guess that price tag, upwards of, maybe $50 million altogether.
Yeah, I'm Jewish. I aim low, but $50 million is like, yowza. What's the most?
So imagine it took 9 years to divide.
Over, you had to revitalize the revitalization plan. Because what was there, I think we need to add more Wi-Fi everywhere because we weren't thinking of that.
We kept it fluid enough so that it can be adjusted rather easily. And there's a myriad of elements in that revitalization plan that are in the beginning stages of being implemented.
So we're thinking 5-10 years to.
I would say that, Rabbi, we've already accomplished some small things, and
like what?
Well, one of the first elements, or one of the main elements of this revitalization plan, and I don't want to get too esoteric in description of properties in Pikesville, but there's an old abandoned National Guard armory of 14 acres that was established in 1903. It was vacated completely by the state's National Guard about 2014 or 15. We saw this as an opportunity for redevelopment along the main street of Pikesville. And we outlined a concept to reuse that 14-acre historically designated property, since it was established in 1903, to become what's called focused on artwork, artists, studios, galleries, recreation, and other community and commercial uses, to attempt to achieve a magnet for folks to come back to Pikesville commercial district in this now internet challenged commercial environment where people do all their shopping at home on their keyboard. And it needs an attraction. The artwork and the artist galleries and studios has been a successful model throughout the country to attract new commercial development.
I mean, there's only in Manhattan, in New York, there's the Park Avenue Armory, and it's turned into an off-Broadway theater at this point.
Is that right? Well, similar kind of concept. And my observation throughout, this geek's attention to land use and redevelopment has seen that the only two ways to revitalize an older established commercial core in today's environment is either with waterfront or with artwork. It's the only two ways it's ever been accomplished.
Well, actually, no.
Since we don't have waterfront, that leaves us with artists.
Actually, not necessarily, because they revitalized Lower Denver, Lodo, when Hickenlooper was there as the governor, and he had a brewery. It was the only thing down there. He opened this giant restaurant/brewery, and it was so popular that then the art galleries came, and then the other things came. So that's
must establish a critical enough mass of attraction for the foot traffic to encourage other redevelopment efforts. Because that's what it's all about. So while people are strolling around, viewing the artwork and the artist studios and the artist galleries, perhaps they'll buy a hamburger at the little deli next door, and that's the whole concept.
And then they'll walk around, and then they may spend some money here or some time there.
So what we tried to convince our colleagues in Baltimore County of a Yiddish word that there's almost no translation for is while they're schmying around.
Schmying around? I haven't heard that. So schmy, just schmy around.
You tell me the English translation for schmying.
Wander.
Wander. What do you do when you wander? You wander, you don't do anything, but you schmy.
But that's what you and can you make it a pedestrian? Because
yes, that's
in New York,
in modern planning principles, as opposed to what had happened since the 1950s of everything being auto-centric. And in New York, you're familiar with Robert Moses.
Oh well, yeah.
Robert Moses was the king of making everything auto-centric. It's practically ruined every town because there was no pedestrian-friendly aspect to all of it. And so what we endeavor to do is try to make this older, established commercial state road, Reisterstown Road, into more of a pedestrian-friendly atmosphere so that there can be incentivized schmying.
Yes. Well, that was the idea when they turned even 40 47th and 40 or 44th Street.
Yeah, I'm not familiar too much with it. Mm-hmm.
You know, they took away traffic lanes, which the cab
Right.
drivers were screaming about, but they have places where you could just schmai from place. I mean, I don't think New York ever was hurt so much by it, but
Yeah, there's so much population. There's so
Yeah.
much population in the city that it's almost a fact. What happened is his model in Long Island, Robert Moses, was copied throughout the country. Everything's a grand boulevard and everything is low slung and low density, and you can't get there from here unless you drive.
So you want to change that.
Yeah, and we're in the process of that. So the armory is one of the first ingredients, and there's several other items in the plan that we're endeavoring to try to effectuate.
Now let me ask you: you keep talking about the armory, but you yourself were in the army, right? Wait, what was that? You weren't in a war, or you weren't overseas or anything.
Well, I was in the army from after I graduated physical therapy school from 1968 to 1970, and was stationed at Walter Reed Hospital in Washington, D.C. And I was a physical therapist there, treating the wounded coming back from Vietnam. And I am certain, upon reflection, that if everybody in this nation would have taken a tour of Walter Reed Hospital, that war would have been ended in 6 months. What was there was a tragedy. You saw so many young men with their heads shot up and their legs shot off for nothing. So my experience in Walter Reed in physical therapy was a great advantage to me in learning about folks and physical therapy practice. And then when I got out of the Army in 1970, established my own physical therapy practice in Baltimore.
Let me ask you though, were you ever afraid that they would send you to Vietnam, or you knew, no, I'm going to be at least.
No, that's okay. So it was known that physical therapists could be of very little help in the battlefield. It was more afterwards. So that was not a fear. But in my junior year of college, I enlisted to be gotten into the military upon my graduation. And there was a special program that allowed one to do that. If you signed up early, you wouldn't be drafted into the Army without the specialty that I would have as a physical therapist.
So after your 4-year degree, and after the moment you got your degree, they could have drafted you. I thought the whole point was
without that sign up, I could have been drafted and sent anywhere without my physical therapy credentials to allow me to go in as an officer and theoretically be stationed stateside. And fortunately, it was close to home, and Walter Reed was a glorious medical institution, and learned a lot there.
So let me also ask you, because I was a little surprised that you had a degree, a Bachelor of Science in physical therapy. I didn't occur to me that they were even teaching that as a degree thing all those years ago. We feel like it's a word from like 20, 30 years ago. Well,
it's interesting. The history of physical therapy profession started almost predominantly during the polio epidemic of the 50s. And there was such a need, and the physical therapists were such help with those patients, those polio patients, that the physical therapists, who were a nascent profession, gained much more credibility and much more support, much more interest. And I entered physical therapy school in 1964. And so I was starting into that new wave of physical therapists.
And you did that for about 30 years. As you said, you opened a private practice after you 1970. How has the discipline of physical therapy changed from the 60s, 70s till
you mentioned that I had a bachelor's degree.
Sure.
And around, I'm going to guess, the late 90s, there became almost a requirement that one must have a doctorate degree in physical therapy. I was grandfathered, of course, after being in practice for so many years, and continued to take continuing education credentials in the meantime. So that's one thing that has changed, is the educational requirement has increased dramatically. The practice of physical therapy has become much more sophisticated. I'm no longer in practice. I left my practice about 15, 20 years ago. It's become much more sophisticated, of course, with more research into the effects of exercise, the effects of certain modalities, the effects of what's called a technique called myofascial release. That's a new technique that kind of combines elements of manipulation and some kinds of deep massage in a certain technique. I won't go into the details. Yeah, we won't go there. Rabbi. It's a family show. It's a family show, Rabbi.
No, he isn't, but okay. So do you keep on top of things, even though you've been out of the practice for 15 years? You still kind of...
No, pretty much. I've left the practice of physical therapy. And as a matter of fact, I've left the practice of politics when in 1994, I ran for county executive, which is the head of the entire county. And I ran for county executive unsuccessfully when the voters decided to tell me, in their infinite wisdom, to go back and practice physical therapy.
That was best. Stupid.
Don't call them names. Don't call them names. They were my constituents.
Well, they not anymore.
But they had great wisdom. They had great wisdom.
Who beat you? Who?
A guy named. So we saw the council members, myself and the eventual councilman, county executive Dutch Rupersberger, who became a congressman eventually. And we saw that the incumbent county executive was a Republican and was very vulnerable for his reelection. So we both had sat there on the council for 8 years and both thought we were the best suited to be the next county executive in light of this weakness by the incumbent county executive. So we both couldn't talk each other out of running. So we ran against each other, and only one guy can win.
So did you throw your support behind him and say, Dutch, good luck to you? I'm here to help you if you need me.
It took a while. It took a while to get over the hurt, but we eventually supported Dutch in all his efforts.
Yes. And all through this time, though, you could fall back on, because I always wonder about politicians who mount these expensive campaigns and they spend their whole weeks and weeks and weeks of all their time, but at least then you could fall back on physical therapy again to support your family. You have a wife and kids, you said?
So the wife and I had one son, and they were all very supportive, involved in the campaigns, and they understood it all, or most of it, not all of it, because it is Michigana, totally Michigana. There's only two motivations for people to get involved in elective office. Either they're crazy or they're venal and they want to make money out of it. So I can assure you, and you don't know me, but I am not venal and I didn't make a nickel out of this. So the obvious conclusion is Michigana.
Which is what we now I heard, and I'm hoping this is not true, I heard a past tense in there. You said you had or have a son?
Have a son. Sorry, you may have heard. You're incorrect. Yeah, he's wonderful, and we have 3 grandchildren with him, and they're all fantastic. And Jocelyn, Aaron. Wait a minute. Jocelyn, Aaron, and Ezra.
All right, 2 are circumcised. This is good. Jocelyn, and what does your wife do? Every Jewish man has a long-suffering wife. What did she suffer with?
So she was professionally what's called a vocational rehabilitation consultant. She tried to help people who were injured on their job get back to work or get a settlement. And then she got involved in counseling for divorced clients who were being divorced, and for economic reasons, they had to settle on some kind of financial arrangement with their divorced spouse. And she would testify as the employability of one divorced spouse or the other in terms of arriving at a settlement. So she was involved professionally in her career, and she made sacrifices to put up with my Michigana this,
And 3 kids.
and but she found out.
So
And we
how
had
did you meet?
we had the one son who was very involved.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
How
we
did
met.
you meet? Yeah.
So in college, a friend of mine who was I attended University of Maryland, and a friend of mine who attended a school called the University of Baltimore had a classmate, female, and he knew I was available and she was available, and he hooked us up on a blind date. And we went to Georgetown on our first date, Georgetown, DC, and we went to a place called the Bayou, and it was a nightclub dance place. And in DC, you could drink at 18. So we had beers and danced, and we hit it off. And she says, when she went home from that first date, and the mother asked her, "Well, how was your date, darling?" She said, it was okay, but I'm going to marry him.
It's just all
It was
right.
okay. She said, it was okay, but I'm going to marry him.
He'll be a good provider.
Yeah, whatever.
He's a good showman. He's a little missugar, so he's probably going to go into politics. I can't tell. But
No, she had no indication of that at that time.
and he'll be a physical therapist, so if I ever have a leg, my knee hurts.
And I helped her out a couple of times. She paid me. It was good.
Now the other question that I want to ask you about, because also later in life you were in a banking sort of thing. Now I've heard so many things, good and bad, about reverse mortgages. That they're not per se a scam, but that ultimately they're the worst case scenario if you have a house or something. But you used to do.
So Rabbi, my whole endeavor has always been about honorability and helping people. And so after I left physical therapy, I was looking for something to keep myself occupied, do something good for folks, and make a buck or two.
Damn right.
So this reverse mortgage was exposed to me, and it started, I think, in the 70s by a former congressman named Jack Kemp.
Oh, yeah.
He was a Republican congressman, and he came up with this idea that he gleaned from Europe about a reverse mortgage, in that if you own your own home and you're 62 years of age or older, and you want to stay in your own home, but you're having trouble meeting ends, what you do is borrow money from your house, the value of your house, before you sell it. And you're able to meet your needs financially and still stay in your house. The house you love that you built from a long time ago, and your family's there and you love it. You don't want to leave, but you just can't quite make ends meet. So what this allows you to do is take a certain percentage in a loan from the value of the house and meet your needs. And at the end of the stream, when both spouses leave that house that has a reverse mortgage on it, the reverse mortgage must be satisfied. So, for example, if you took a reverse and got $50,000, just to use that as an example, 20 years later, both spouses depart the house, and now the reverse is worth $100,000 to pay back. The house gets resold, no matter what the house sells for. If it sells for $220,000, the estate gets the extra. If the house sells for $1, an insurance program set up in the beginning pays the entire balance to the bank. So the estate is left with no debt. And you don't have to, and the homeowners do not have to leave the house. They don't have to sell it if they don't wish. They stay in the house and they live in the house mortgage free until they dispose of the house. And typically that's when they pass away, and the estate, the kids, sell the house, whatever proceeds go, and it satisfies the outstanding loan of the reverse mortgage. And that's that.
So it doesn't sound so.
So it helps people meet.
Yeah.
There was a lot of scams in the very beginning because the government didn't take control, and there wasn't that insurance pool created. So then Jack Kemp got involved a little later and created this insurance pool, so that, again, it's tough to explain without numbers.
Right.
So if the house is worth $100,000, the couple gets $50,000. There is another additional, let's say $2,000 premium out of that 50, but it's actually 52. So it gets to the homeowner at 50. 2,000 is taken out of that, put in an insurance pool. And so that insurance pool is paid by everybody who takes a reverse mortgage out.
Like Social
So
Security.
that is correct. That insurance pool continues to gain interest, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that when homeowner A passes on, that insurance pool picks up the difference. And so forth, multiplied times millions of instances where these reverse mortgages occur.
What happens if the house is handed down? It doesn't just go to the bank, or does it?
Well, it can be handed down to the estate, to the sons and daughters, but that reverse mortgage must be paid back. So that's why the typical is the house is sold. Now that is the disadvantage. It can be passed down, but the reverse mortgage, the lien,
is also
has
passed.
to-
Right. So if you're selling if the kids have the house and they sell it or are getting a bad time and the house is worth less or whatever, they still have to pay off whatever.
No, if they sell the house, the kids sell the house and the house is worth $100,000, but the reverse mortgage owed is $110,000, the
Right.
kids don't have to come up with the 10.
Right.
The insurance pool picks up the 10.
So
the worst that the kids come up with is 0.
Right. So everything goes to pay off, but nothing over it, nothing beyond what they get.
Well, if it is over, again, using that example, if it's owed $100,000, but the house gets sold for $110,000, the kids get the $10,000.
All right. So it sounds pretty okay. It sounds like
it's a help for folks to get through their difficulties without burdening the kids. That's what it's about.
But why not do a second mortgage instead? As opposed or
economically, you might, depends on if you can afford to carry the second mortgage, because that involves a payment. A reverse mortgage, there's no payment while it's in effect. So the mortgage that used to cost the homeowner $1,000 a month to meet the principal and interest is gone.
Right. You just live. And you don't really worry about it until the house is sold or whatever or
disposed of. Right.
Yeah. All right. Wow. I was just always curious about this because you hear the good.
There's still a few too many bad actors. There used to be many more bad actors, as so many things are.
Have you ever seen me on stage?
Show business. I tell you, Rabbi, show business. Show business is everything.
Mike Tevye is like, God,
would it spoil some vast eternal plan?
Every Jew knows Fiddler on the Road. Every Jew. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have had such a fun time chatting with Melvin G. Mintz. Let me have you remind people, because if people are in Baltimore or environs, or certainly in and around Pikesville, how do they find out about 1,000 Friends of Pikesville if they want to get involved, if they want to be part of this revitalization?
Well, I'll give you a couple of contacts, or few. It's Pikesville, 1000friendsofpikesville.org.
Okay.
There's the Pikesville Armory Foundation.org. There is the Pikesville Revitalization Action Committee that they can try to. Well, yeah, it is, and that is the plan. The Pikesville Revitalization Action Plan Committee is in charge of implementing that. Remember, we talked about the revitalization plan for Pikesville. Or they can contact Mel Mintz at Comcast.net. I don't really care.
Man's email on the thing, melmintz at Comcast.net, or start with a website. Start with 1,000 Friends of Pikesville.
Yeah, if you can.
Lots of different ways to do that. So before we let you go, Melvin G. Mintz, we want to first of all say how much fun and what a delight you have been to tummel with me here in the Daverhood, to go schmaying over various...
Schmaying, Rabbi, get it straight here. Schmaying.
Well, I'm a glitz, maybe you're a litbach. I can't tell.
Obviously, there's a difference.
So let me ask you, do you and your lovely wife, do you go on vacations? Do you stay put? What do you do in your golden years?
We spend some significant time in Florida, and that's where I am right now. Of course.
You do. Yes.
And no, we don't travel quite so much as we used to. And but we did go to Italy with our kids and the grandkids, and we went to Israel a few years ago with our
Yes.
kids. And we went to Masada and we looked at it and says, that's crazy. Masada is just insane. When you think about it, it's just insane. And so we went to, I'll give you an anecdote. We went to the Golden Heights.
Oh, yeah.
And we're looking out over the valley, being guided by a member of the Israel Defense Forces, and he's taking us for a guide, looking out over the Bekaa Valley under the Golan Heights. And the guide says, do you realize there are 10,000 Arab militia groups in that valley, and they all hate each other? It sums up the whole craziness in a nutshell.
Which is a good thing, because if they all work together, we'd be stooped. But the fact that they all kill each other
there's a great line. There's a great line from Dennis Miller. Great line. He says, let me sum up the Mideast situation. I want you to all imagine that the situation is reversed. By that, I mean, imagine there are 6 million Arabs surrounded by 250 million Jews. Do you think for one moment one of those Jews would strap dynamite to their chest to blow themselves up over those 6 million Arabs? They would say, "Lazim, gay," and
it's true. Let them have their falafels. The falafels are good. I know I'm being racist.
That's true.
But still, and you know what we also love? We love Melvin G. Mintz. You. By the way, I'm so thrilled that you're in such great health. That you're so.
Thanks God. Thanks God. Thanks God.
Thanks God.
Thanks God.
Thank you, Mel Mintz. I wish
you're quite welcome. It's good chatting with you. Good having a little laugh or two. It's always a pleasure. Anytime we'll do it again, and we'll talk about some other shtick.
You got it. You got it. Azissin almost Pesach to you, and all.
Azissin Pesach.
And shalom.
All right. Shalom. Thank you, pal. Bye-bye now.
Oh, Melvin Mintz in the Daverhood, my friends. What delight. Do you see why we have him behind us on the wall here? Do you see why we wanted him on the program? Just you know, the word I should have said. His name should be Melvin Mensch. That's what, or Mensch G. Mintz, or Menschy, something like that. But Mensch should be in there, because what a fine person, and what a well-spoken and fun and totally and a Jewish person. It's all good. Go to these different websites if you are involved at all in Maryland. Help Pikesville, and if you have a little extra money, help my shul, because we could certainly use it. Anywho, I'm Rabbi Sol Solomon, proud to be once again in the Daverhood, but I'm going to vacate. I got to get back to my own synagogue there. We use the two adjoining dressing rooms at the local Kohl's to keep the men and women separated. So I got to get back there. You folks, check my website, shalomdammit.com, and stay with us for more of Dave Lefkowitz and his lovely wife Joyce for more of the Dave's Gone By program of the air on this Shabbos. Oh my God! I haven't been on such a high since I ate that Hawaiian steak at Mission Barbecue. Yes.
David, I must say, I was listening in the other room. I read the closed captioning.
Yeah.
That was like 150% Mel. He was like 365% Mel.
He was wonderful.
He was more Mel than I thought Mel could ever be.
We are Melsa-poppin' here in the Daverhood.
So much Mel.
You know what? I'm going to take these. I'm going to put these on every door frame of the house. I'm going to call it a Mel Zuzah. That's what I'm going to have. Because he's just the best.
But I couldn't tell. Did he know that there were pictures of him behind you?
I don't know if it's kind of hard to see on the thing. If he watches back and he puts it full screen.
He was dressed in everyday clothes. It was like real Mel.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yes, very interesting man.
Yes. You know.
Yes.
And Rabbi Sol is not a great guy, but also a rather interesting
No, but it was
person.
a very fun interview.
Yeah, he was wonderful. So I hope you got to see that.
It's concerning because sometimes, David, when you meet your idols, they may not,
Yeah, Joyce warned me. She warned me
Yeah.
earlier in the week. I see you're trying to get Mel on the show.
And we love him, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like Mandy Patinkin when you tried to get him on there. It could be a very
Look what came
bad
up
thing.
6 years ago. But that's for the vasectomy. Yes, I'm gonna repost it.
You want to, oh yeah.
I'm gonna share it. Do you want to say something about it?
Well, I can show it, and then you can repost it on our
I'm
or
gonna say,
post it. Yeah.
Echoes of today.
So 6 years ago, it was in Colorado. That's right. It was right near our vet for our dogs at that point, and they usually dealt with dogs and birds and cats and hamsters and things, but there was enough open space that they have room for occasionally horses and donkeys and alpacas and llamas and camels and things like that. So there was a sign.
I'm gonna post for you.
This is real.
I put
This is
echoes
real.
of the earthquake. See?
Wait.
I put echoes of the
Echoes of
earthquake.
Welcome camelid castration. They were actually taking
that was the
llamas.
Colorado State University.
Oh,
vet
CSU. It
center.
wasn't the vet. Oh,
No, that couldn't do that. That's at the big animal.
Oh, you're right.
Colorado State Veterinary Hospital.
Yeah.
They had a whole outdoor thing with like big horses and stuff. I just put a thing.
We did
saying-
not watch
Yeah.
llamas being
No,
castrated.
I
promise.
put echoes of the earthquake.
But yeah, because we talked about the guy having a
2018,
vasectomy.
April 6th.
Was it 18? Was it that late?
This is 2018. That's when you did your camelid clinic day.
So 6 years ago to the day, we were bringing our dogs for something, and it was camelid castration day. Welcome to camelid castration. Which if an earthquake happened during that, nothing could go too wrong because they're taking it all off anyway.
You were even gray then in your beard. I didn't realize.
Oh, my
that.
beard's been gray for more than a decade,
Yeah, but, your hair
but my
was
hair's
blacker,
gotten
yeah.
darker. Yeah, I mean, it was darker.
Yeah.
And that's the weird thing when you watch. It's not so noticeable in real life.
But on the TV.
When we watch me on on the TV here, I'm gray from the temples to here, and then suddenly black in the back. It looks very strange on. It doesn't look.
It's the shadow probably. Yeah.
I don't know, but it's sort of like I'm.
David, maybe we
till
should
here.
make your hair. We'll dye it with shoe polish because that'll look natural.
It should. I could maybe do that. Yeah. No,
let's do that.
I will not. What else do we have to do on the program? It's
also pointing at you.
I should be covering up my crotch is what I should do when I see that.
So do you want me to order bagels and then we could pick it up for later? And what do you want, the Baconator? And then I won't order it yet, but I'll order it and then we'll pick it up and then we'll program from the bagel place to the yard sale.
To the yard sale.
Yeah.
Yard sale. So yeah, my usual on a whole, not a whole week. On
Oh
a,
my God.
I want.
I'll tell you what they are, but let's do your show.
Yeah. So we still
We
have
should go till 12.
Dave's Big Dick. We don't have to. We'll go almost till 12, but maybe not
want to
quite.
see that yard sale earlier. so
Yard
that
sale.
I can order it like 11, whatever.
Yeah,
You
and
tell
pick
me
up our
what to
food.
order.
Usual, but
No, when? Donde?
Done it. When? I don't know. I would say about maybe 12:15. Well, let me see. What do we have? I've got Dave's Big Dictionary,
Yeah.
Friends, and the Limerick. So maybe we can be out of here and ready by like 12:15
Okay,
to pick
so
up
I'll
at.
order at noon.
Yeah.
I'll place the order at noon. It'll be ready by 12:15.
Oh yeah. You'll call
that's
it
what
in.
I'm trying to
Perfect.
execute on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, David. Yeah.
So.
I need to plan. I need to plan all these things so that we get everything.
Well,
done right.
yes, Dave needs his bagel. And
You do.
I do.
I don't know why
I
there's
do.
an extra scissor here, so I'm putting it there.
Or if we don't go to the bagel place, Mission Barbecue has a black plate.
No, you go tomorrow. That's tomorrow's dinner. Yeah. We go shopping.
Yes. So let's get to more of the show.
You're like, yeah, yeah.
We've done Greeley Times.
Let's
We've
see
had
if
Mel.
that one has a sweet potato. Maybe that's not always there.
I wonder. I'm
Let's see.
feeling that it's
Shane
universal.
White,
Yeah.
okay. Did you drink your tea?
I have had some tea. It was a little hot, but now it's
Oh, I'm
perfect.
sorry.
Thank you.
I should have told you. Yeah, I mean,
No, I need the heat. I need the. It's yummy. Thank you ever so much. So let's do some more of the show. I'm not ready to talk about redoubt yet. I haven't had time to think about it. So instead,
Give me the definition.
well, it's just this thing. It's a temporary fortification kind of a thing. Like it's almost like he was
Is it a
talking
moat,
about
like-
Masada and the armory.
But is it like a moat?
It could be more of
Like a Trojan horse?
well, no, it is a place where you kind of like put up bricks and things, and you have a safe. It may
like
not be
in,
forever.
Like in the Three Little Pigs is the house.
Yes,
Ah,
yes.
Okay.
So, but if something is redoubtable, it means. So that's why I'm a little confused
I
by
don't know.
this.
I think it's wrong.
It's not going to be wrong. It's just the definitions here are kind of short and a little skimpy because it's not like the Oxford.
I'll look it up. I'll read
Yeah.
it out.
Redoubt. Redoubt. That is our Dave's Big Dictionary word of the day.
So people, let me. Oh,
Yeah,
I
please,
gave
please.
you a lot of stuff. Let's see if
And I shouldn't have put my glasses down. Let me put those back on. So redoubt from Webster's. It comes from. Well, you know what? I might as well, since I'm doing it, let me do it. So let me do Dave's Big Dictionary. Extra, tell all about it. It's Dave's Big Dictionary. Well, without a doubt, the word of the day from Merriam-Webster that actually does a random word of the day is redoubt. R-E-D-O-U-B-T. And it's a noun. It comes from French of a secret place or withdrawn. What? Show me. Uh-oh.
Polygon?
A temporary or supplementary fortification,
Mm-hmm.
typically square or polygonal or
Oh, so the
polygonal.
pentagon would be a redoubt.
It might be if it's temporary or it's a supplementary fortification. So anything around the Pentagon to help
maybe
keep
like
it
Cones
buttressed.
Cones in Virginia.
Like one,
Cones
yeah,
in
yeah,
Virginia,
exactly.
Yeah.
And without flanking defenses, so it's like an extra bit of like something to keep something else safe, in a polygonal shape. So it could also perhaps be a geodesic dome.
I don't
But
think
perhaps
so. I don't think
not.
a dome is a hexagonal.
Listen, why is it called a redoubt?
I don't
It
know.
means a place of retreat,
Oh,
a
okay.
component of military strategies of most European empires during the colonial era. Especially in the outer works of Vauban-style fortresses.
Yeah, naturally.
Right. Oh, that Vaub. He was so good at making fortresses.
Yeah, good style.
Made popular during the 17th century, although the concept of redoubts has existed since medieval times. So a synonym for redoubt is an acropolis, a blockhouse, citadel,
Oh, citadel, like a fort.
garrison, fortress, garrison station. Okay, I get it. So how did redoubtable, I guess, means that it's something that is very challenging to break through.
Formidable.
Yeah.
Formidable.
That's exactly the word, formidable, especially like an opponent. He was a redoubtable debater. He was a master debater, but I did walking on him while he was doing that. It means very strong, especially in character, producing respect and maybe a little fear in other people because it's fortressed or buttressed. Redoubt. Now, I would love to do redoubtable, but
it's not a person; it's a thing.
well, a person can be redoubtable.
No, but the word we got today is the thing. It's
No.
Merriam-Webster. It's not a good word today, Merriam-Webster.
I know. Well, I know.
They should give you a better word on Saturday for your show.
But I have no choice. So I take the word that I get. So the word is redoubt.
Yeah.
Like a fortress, kind of a
How about you could say
protective thing.
the interview with Mel gave us a redoubt
No.
around our heart.
Oh,
Yes.
a fortress. No, we opened our hearts to him. It's almost the opposite.
But the love fest of him and on the Zoom
The
and
melding
all of the Facebook made it redoubtable, right? It really
gave us a
yes.
formidable.
Yes, an experience, right? It gave the show a very
Yeah. All right.
right. No? I don't know, David.
I don't know either. That's why it's very difficult sometimes to do Dave's Big Dick.
What did he say about? Did he talk about reverse mortgages?
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
And I still don't quite understand them, but it is. I mean,
what's he doing now, David?
oh, he's retired. He hangs with his family and he travels a little bit and goes to Florida.
He's in PT, right?
Yeah, well, PT was he gave that up about 15 years ago,
Oh, wow.
but he did it for 30-something years.
Oh,
In fact, he was doing the mortgages after.
I got that from the
Yeah.
interview.
So yeah, but redoubt. Let me think of in terms of something fortified, something that you put up to sort of secure a place that's already supposedly secure, or something that is redoubtable. All right, so
Oh, when I was doing dishes in the kitchen, one of the birds from this tree who has a little bright red head and was tiny was sitting on the window ledge.
oh, nice, nice. I'm stalling.
I got it.
Yes.
Our squirrel proof bird feeder is.
It. Good. Thank you.
I
Thank
was
you for
thinking
giving
of
me something to
birds,
talk
you know.
about. She's right.
It actually is. So far, they chew the top, but it is. They didn't.
We needed a
penetrate it,
fortress
yeah.
in our bird
We'll
feeder.
feed them tomorrow, okay?
Yeah. Because we had a bird feeder. We talked about this on the air, but we had a bird feeder that was left from the people who owned this house before us, and for some reason they never had a problem. But we start filling the bird feeder, and it's devastated by squirrels. Like, birds can get at it, but so can the squirrels, and they're gnawing at it, they're jumping on it, they break the damn thing. They literally eat through the plexiglass.
And one was in it.
And they upside down in it, eating his way through, pissing and shitting in the bird feeder. It becomes their home away from home. And so we want to get a new bird feeder, but we don't want to get another bird feeder that the squirrels are going to destroy. What's the point?
No, but also we want to. This is the thing. We tried the hot seeds, which didn't really work, but we want to also have seeds that the birds like, because we don't want to. We want seedless seeds. We want seeds that attract all kind of birds. So
yes.
So that's the dilemma.
And the problem is the bird feeder, the bird seeds that you get sometimes in packets have nuts in them.
Yes.
And squirrels love peanuts.
Of course.
So what the hell is the friggin' point? No, the point is not to attract squirrels. I mean, I have nothing against squirrels. They're cute.
True, though. Some people, remember we were in the bird seed store, and the person wanted to have.
They wanted squirrel. They wanted wildlife, I guess. They wanted but we're not lacking for squirrels.
No.
We have a couple of squirrels. They're always around. You never. And again, it's familiarity breeding contempt. I grew up in Brooklyn and then on Long Island and also in Manhattan. Squirrels are friggin' everywhere. There's nothing special about us. No offense to squirrels, but they're squirrels. Unless there's a horrible plague that takes them away. Squirrel. Oh, here's a squirrel. Here's a squirrel. Here's a squirrel. Bunnies, less special. It's much more rare if you grew up in an urban or New York suburban environment. We did have the occasional bunny in our backyard, but it was rare. And they're cuter. Bunnies are cuter than squirrels. I'm sorry if that hurts the squirrel lobby. Do I think what? But so I love seeing a bunny. Bunnies are destructive too. They eat flowers. They eat things that you're planting in your garden. It's the reason Elmer Fudd kept going after bugs, because bugs would eat all his carrots. But I'm sorry, bunnies are very cute. So we want bunnies. We like bunnies, and bunnies are not going to climb up and ruin a bird feeder. They're not going to. Squirrels are. So we wanted a new bird feeder, a redoubtable one that functions as kind of a redoubt to cover the place, except for the little bits where the seed comes out, where little baby birds can go. So we don't spend a lot of money, but we get a better version of a bird feeder that has this thing. You can explain it better than I can. Where if
it's
you
like
come
a
down,
vault. When any weight heavier than a bird sits on the perch, it pulls gravity, shuts the access to the seed.
So the squirrels cannot. As soon as they try and climb on it, the thing shuts down, and there's nothing for them to get. And then, squirrels being squirrels, they're going to go up to the top, to the lid, and try and get the lid off, or chew their way under the lid on the plastic there to get. But it's built in such a way that they can chew, and they have made some damage there. But the lid comes down, they can't get their heads in, they can't get into the thing to destroy it. So at least for so far a few months, this new bird feeder has actually worked. So it is redoubtable in terms of squirrels. It has this casing, this redoubt, Dave's Big Dictionary, that has been so far effective. We're even thinking of getting another one and hanging that so we can we can watch more. And again, it's also sort of our fault or the fault of where the bird feeder is, because it's near all these bushes and these branches that squirrels can get onto and climb up and get to the feeder. If we had the feeder sort of more in the middle of the lawn, squirrels would have a much harder time because they have to go straight up a pole and into it. But for our purposes right now, the feeder, well, is working pretty well. The one thing is, I don't know how this happens with other people. Maybe people take their bird feeders in at night and then rehang them in the morning. How come we fill up a giant bird feeder? We're talking like, a pound of seeds, and it's gone in 2.5 days. I mean, we don't get like macaws.
Yeah, but we got the good stuff, I think.
Even so. Even,
like
little baby birds, how much?
Steady stream of birdies.
We do, but it literally, like, we have a bird feeder that's this big, and we fill it to the top, and it goes in about 48 to 72 hours. It's gone. You would figure you wouldn't have to refill a bird feeder, more than once or twice a week. Well, twice a week goes right, 2 or 3 days. But you know what I'm saying. Like a hummingbird feeder, you pour some goo in there, and for 2 weeks it should be good.
They like it.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
It is a good thing. We want the birds.
I think it's very good because they get foodies.
Yeah. I would like some bigger, prettier birds, more cardinals, more blue jays.
We saw a blue jay.
But how come there's only like a couple?
I think because they're kind of heavy, so if they go on that bird feeder, they might pull down the.
Oh, maybe. Because
You know.
that would be, or some of it falls to the ground and they can get it there. But it always surprises me. You get not a million.
Mm-hmm.
You get a dozen sparrows. You get a few robins. And robins aren't even interested in the bird feeder. They're around. They're poking. They're looking for worms. They don't give a crap about seed. But we don't. How come it's just 2 cardinals, not a flock, a family?
It's the same one, right?
Yeah, it's got to be a family that lives in a tree like across in our neighbor's yard, and we get 1 or 2 blue jays. How come? Why not? Should we put like signs up around the neighborhood? It's like, hey, we have seed for beautiful red cardinals. Come on down.
I don't think the birds can read, honey.
Well, this is a problem with their education system. This is what happens when you concentrate too much on arts and culture and DEI, and you don't teach the birds, the real things that they need to know. It boggles my mind sometimes. It just does. Have I redoubtably done redoubt?
You've done great.
You
did a great
Thank you.
job.
Well, thanks to you. I would have been stumped. So
I tried to help you because I know you were having a hard time.
I was having a hard time. But
Okay.
I've managed to do Dave's big dictionary. I'm very proud of that. So what else is there to do on the rest of this episode of Dave's Gone By, which I remind you has all our archives at davesgoneby.com, as well as on archive.org, plus the audio archives at castbox.fm, plus some of our archives on YouTube, some of our archives on Facebook now. But there's a lot of places where you can catch this content from our last 21 and a half years. This really is our 938th episode of the program that we have been calling Mintz Condition. So, what else is there to do? Our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we are going to Abbeyville, Colorado. But before then, we're still quelling over the melling that we've had here.
They said that you can use Oreo cookies to make an eclipse. You can separate the Oreo cookie and then close it like an eclipse. Yeah.
Oh, we must do
That's
this!
the safe way to do it. Yes.
Well, if you get the cookies at Safeway, yes. You take the I'm quick. I'm stupid, but I'm quick. Oh, let me tell you the stupid story. I've got to share the stupid. This will take us till noon. But I was so proud this week.
Yeah.
I've got to disgorge this. I've got to get this off my chest. I was having such a good day at school. I teach at 2 universities, and I teach 2 different classes in one of them. One in English class and the other film class. And I was having a good day. When kids weren't falling asleep all over me, I wasn't feeling waves of contempt. It was good. And so I get through my English class, and it's pretty lively, and I feel really strong about it. And then I get to the film class, and I'm really, really proud because I have a guest who has been in the Daverhood, a guest who has worked on real movies in Hollywood. So I feel like hot shit because I'm this professor, I'm this adjunct, I'm low paid, I'm nothing on the totem pole, but I can bring in one of the things I can do, even though I'm not per se a filmmaker, and I've been out of the game, and my degree in film is 40 years old. I can at least go there and share my knowledge and share my aesthetic appreciation and my worth as a critic. But also I know from doing this show, from being at Playbill, I know people. So I can bring in experts who are smarter than I am and have real experience. So I'm delighted. I bring this person in by Zoom to talk to my students, where I can ask them questions and they ask him questions about what it's like to work on, multi-million-dollar Hollywood films.
What is this?
This is the story. Should
No,
I say the
what is
name?
it?
It's the wonderful Steve Wolf,
Oh, wow.
the stunt person, the stunt coordinator. He was on the show just a few months ago again. He's great. So he volunteered. He said, sure. He's always up for talking to students and education.
Explaining it.
So he said, Dave, I'd love to do your thing. So I'm like, I'm jazzed. I'm like, I'm gonna, I may not be this, I may not be that, but I can get a real expert in the film world to talk to a bunch of film students. And we're not talking about freshmen anymore. We're talking about people who are, moving into the world to either make movies or work on movies or write scripts and do that sort of thing. So I get, and the first thing is, I get my Zoom up, and he's not there. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
and
no.
I called him the morning before.
Yeah.
Says, and unfortunately, I've forgotten that he lives 2 hours. He's all the way in.
Time zone?
So I called him at like 8:30 his time.
Oh, my God, David.
Which, 8:30 is not
I know,
terrible.
but that's horrible.
And I could tell, it's like, oh shit, I should have waited another half hour or 3.
You were just anxious, that's all.
But no, I should, because it was 10:30 my time. It didn't occur to me that it was so much earlier out there in.
We lived in Colorado, David, honey.
Yeah, I forgot he lived.
Time zones, I know.
So, but I call him and he's like, we're set, we're cool.
Was he sleeping?
Because I tried emailing him to confirm, and he wasn't confirming in any other way. Yeah, I love that. That's the earthquake thing. So, he confirms, and I get my Zoom open, and it's time for the class to start, and he's not there. So I start already, going into panic mode. I have other things to do just in case things don't work out. But I'm like, oh no. And I think he had the link for the show rather than the special link I was using for the classroom. But he had his own kind of better than Zoom kind of Zoom. So he invited me. It took about 5 minutes of wasted class time.
That's reality.
But we got him up, and he was wonderful. And I was asking him great questions, and the students were asking him great questions. And I was just feeling like completely on top of the world. Because I felt like, best, coolest teacher in the universe gets this guy, right? And then he starts explaining. I asked him, and I'd forgotten about this. I asked him about stunt safety and things like that, and what could have been done on the Alec Baldwin set to prevent what happened to Alec Baldwin. And I'd forgotten, I think he mentioned this on the show, that he's an expert with this. He was actually part of the trial. Yeah.
I don't think they can say, can he?
No, he was very open. He was very saying, and he said, here's the thing, you have someone check. And it's such an unbelievably simple thing to check, he said.
Really?
So what you do is before you start using anything in the first thing in the morning, and he said a 5-year-old could do this. Here's a bullet. And amazingly enough, I don't know why, he had ammunition handy.
That's scary too.
And he holds up a bullet,
Oh,
a real actual bullet. This is a bullet, right?
Wow.
And he shows it to the camera, and then he says, "Now this is a prop bullet, and it has, it has little holes.
It's a dummy. Yeah. I know what brutal.
It's a dummy. But it just has little holes.
You can tell the difference, right? Is that what he's trying to show, the difference between a real one and a?
And he's also saying that any prop master, any armorer should be able to just look at every bullet that's in that gun before it, everything's fired.
That's so sad.
And see that there's little holes in it. And that's it. And I could have left it at that. I should have left it at that. Because this is me. This is how I ruin everything. So it shows. So yeah, you just make sure that there's bullets and that there's holes in the bullet, and you know it's a prop bullet. And I could have gone on to another question. What is that? Oh, our yeah. I could have gone on to another question or open the floor to questions, but I had to pursue it because I said I'm going to ask a dumb question now. I didn't realize how dumb it was. I said, so okay, it's still a bullet.
Yeah, like it's still a projectile coming fast out of a
Yeah,
gun.
if somebody fires this thing, I mean, whether it's hollow or not, I mean, they're hollow point bullets too. You know, how come it's safe?
Yeah.
I mean, you're still pointing. It's still
probably
going.
doesn't have the velocity because
It doesn't.
holes.
Well,
oh no, what?
As he explained, it doesn't have anything. If there's no.
It's empty. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no powder. It's not gonna. There's nothing gonna fly. You know, it's not a thing.
Does it come out?
I don't know. I still don't understand.
I don't understand that.
But for some reason, everyone in the class kind of already knew this. And everyone in the class was like, I cannot. There was literally a guy there. Yeah. There's this young guy who was kind of a know-it-all sort of fellow, but he was like literally like he had his head in his hands going like this. And I'm like,
listen. I'm sure, honestly, one person in that class had that question.
Me.
Yeah. I'm sure other people too.
I still have I still don't understand it. If you're pointing a thing, something fires.
Base that on your exam.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna fail this son of a bitch because I literally, for the rest of the class, you know, I called out. I said, oh, yeah, head and hands, boy. Yeah, because I was like, you know, thanks for humiliating me.
There's nothing about you. It's okay to play the fool. That's why.
I wasn't playing the fool, dear. I was a fool. It wasn't like I was asking a dumb question for the sake of people who were scared to ask a not so dumb question. I was asking a really dumb question.
Try it, honey.
And let me tell you something. I still feel like a dummy because I don't fully understand the explanation. You know, then why bother with bullets at all? If nothing's going to fire, why just leave an empty gun and show click and then use a sound effect and then add in fire as a CGI?
I don't understand anything yet.
So yeah. So, you know, this wonderful day that I had in class, there's this fabulous, you know, a good English class. I was playing, doing poetry and songs and really engaging everybody. And then the film class, I had a good movie, and I had this guy, I was asking him great questions, and he was terrific. And then the one moment that everything has to collapse around. And one moment of like, oh, gee, why doesn't that fire?
Okay.
Yeah.
What happens to prop bullets in a prop gun?
Joyce is Googling the answer here. What happened? Let me read this. What is a prop gun, and how does a blank cartridge work?
Somebody else asked the question because it's a whole article and it's on the.
And how appropriate this is also because these are prop guns here for production of all things Coriolanus, because you know Shakespeare had AR assault rifles.
Actually, he did, yeah.
And of course this is based on the shooting death of the Alec Baldwin thing. So the term prop gun includes a variety of weapons, including cap guns, fake guns, plastic or rubber. It can also mean real guns modified to fire only blank cartridges, which can pack a punch. And even result in death.
Yes!
It was fired at close range. John Eric Hexum, that actor,
yes,
he held a gun to his head.
Yes.
It wasn't a real bullet.
No, but it can do it, yeah.
Blanks are shell casings loaded with gunpowder.
Okay.
They lack the deadly bullet point, which is usually replaced with cotton or paper wadding.
Okay.
When blanks are discharged, they create the sound of gunfire. That's why you hear a prop gun on stage. And the gunpowder combusts, causing a muzzle flash.
Oh, so it's not a bullet, it's just a flash of...
But the force of firing a gun...
It's a flash of combustion. It's
fire.
But
it's powder and recoil.
Yeah.
And the blanks are discharged. They go somewhere. At close range, prop guns can cause injury or death, even without a projectile. The burning flame, hot gases, and I know from hot gases.
I'm eating a car. You want to?
No, I don't want to speak of hot gases. And debris from burned and unburned flakes of gunpowder can create a very real hazard. However, these hazards are based on physics and predictable and controllable. In addition to blank rounds, dummy rounds are used on set.
Maybe that's what he was talking about.
They are designed to look like real bullets.
That's what he was talking about, probably.
And they have no gunpowder.
That's what he was talking about. So
they can be used in close-up shots for effect.
So he was talking about dummy bullets, and you were talking about another one.
When actor Brandon Lee was killed on The Crow, the Times reported that the projectile tip of a dummy round was accidentally lodged in a chamber, then propelled out of the gun by a blank. Oh my gosh. Wow. So
you're having some.
I still don't understand.
So what it's saying is there's many types of projectiles.
Even with a dummy.
No, but the one that has the combustion is the one you're thinking of, where it combusts, the fire goes out, and it kicks the person back. That's more scary.
But that has some gunpowder in it.
And kicks out a little one. That one is less.
A little dinky. But even that.
I know, it could be bad. I know.
So I'm not quite
you're
so
not.
stupid.
That makes perfect sense to me.
I'm going to go back in to class on Wednesday, and I'm going to be like, hey, you animals. Now, let me tell you something. I may be dumb, but I'm not that dumb. And that'll, and everybody will actually write that as part of their teacher evals at the end of the semester. He's dumb. He's real dumb, but he's not that dumb. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, it's 11:45. See, we are going to go till noon Eastern time here in the Daverhood for Dave's Gone By. Now, we talked about Steve Wolf, marvelous guy, and so brilliant and talented in terms of his inventions and his things for safety and for understanding how science and physics works to make stunts happen and to make them safe. So Steve Wolf, we're very proud to have been a friend of the Daverhood.
The kids are lucky. That's a great person.
And tremendously grateful that he took the time to be with me via Zoom.
And to explain it,
for my class. He's a friend of the Daverhood. A new friend of the Daverhood, is Melvin G. Mintz, who is on this program today. And remember, 1,000 friends of Pikesville.org.
David.
There's 4,
It's a little, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12.
It's like the Let It Be album.
There's 12,
but it's all Mel.
12 Mels.
12 Mels.
Can there ever be enough Mels, right?
It's Melvillous, my friends. So Melvin G. Mintz is now a friend of the Daverhood. Not to mention our God and worshipful master. We love Mel.
Mel is our friend. Mel is our friend. We like Mel.
We do.
He reminded me a little bit of Larry David. I got a little bit of Larry David.
He's got that,
When I saw him, I saw the image. I couldn't hear I couldn't hear the voice. I just saw the image because I had it quiet in the other room so you don't get reverb.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for that.
But I knew that. So.
And I know you don't particularly like, but I love Rabbi Sol Solomon. He's a friend of the Daverhood, and he has been on our show since the very beginning. And you can find out more about him by going to shalomdammit.com. Shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T, shalomdammit.com. So all of those are friends of the Daverhood, but we've had many, many more over the years.
I love that shirt.
And we're going to check them out on our Friends of the Daverhood. Yeah. Get down. So let me tell you about the Friends of the Daverhood this week. What are they up to? For example, hey, congratulations to our friend Linda Lavin, the veteran actress. You remember her from Alice on TV. Well, she's still acting, of course, and she's was just last night on an episode of Elsbeth on CBS TV. This is a show that you've got to check out.
Elsbeth?
You can watch it. We can actually watch it on CBS. Elsbeth.
Do we have that?
And well, you can get it on. You don't even have to have Paramount. Huh? So yeah. Well, no. If you go to the website for CBS, like CBS.com, you can watch episodes. It's called Elsbeth, and it.
She's
No, no, you'd love this. It's a quirky. It's not Linda Lavin playing it. She's another character. She was just on last night. But it's Carrie Preston plays this very eccentric person who helps solve crimes. So it's
I
like
love
comedy,
that.
mystery. It's like monkish,
Or
apparently.
it's like we watched the Three Sisters one, like the Three
Like one of
Sisters
those,
one.
yeah.
I love that.
So it really looks good, and they're in their second season.
Oh, great.
So I do want to check that one out. It's called Elsbeth, and Linda Lavin was on it last night. Want to let you know also, congratulations to Jessica Schur. Not only does she do that show about, who's that actress? Betty Davis, but she was in a short, dark comedy called Wicked Image, a short film, and it just won Best Comedy at the Reedy Reels Film Festival in South Carolina. The film is called Wicked Image, so if you can go find it on the festival circuit, please do. Want to let you know that today and tomorrow, congratulations to him, Seth Bisson-Hirsch. Now, we mention him every week because he does Seth's, he MCs, what is it called? Seth's, shame on me. Where the hell is it? I'm looking for it. Seth's talent showcase.
Oh, I think it's his magical carpet ride.
Well, it's kind of like that. At Don't Tell Mama on Tuesday nights. But this weekend, his musical that he wrote called Love Quirks is having its non-Manhattan debut at Hofstra University in Hempstead, New York. So you can see it today and tomorrow at Hofstra, Love Quirks.
If you have tickets.
Well, yeah, you do kind of need tickets for that. And, joy, Albert Bergeret, who is the founder, the director, and the conductor of the New York Gilbert and Sullivan Players. Well, they're still around, and they're going to be at the K Playhouse this weekend with a much lesser known Gilbert and Sullivan piece called The Sorcerer. So if you want to see that with a full orchestra from what we call NIGASP, New York Gilbert and Sullivan Players, that is this weekend. Jorma Kaukonen from Jefferson Airplane and from Hot Tuna and Acoustic Hot Tuna, he will be playing, I think solo, at City Winery in Manhattan, and he's got 3 dates there. It's the 7th, so Sunday through Tuesday, so go see him there. Off-Broadway, Ibsen's Ghost is at 59E59 Theaters. You have another week to see that. It was written by and stars our friend Charles Bush. And then Gabriel Barry, the actor and director, he is directing the off-Broadway show A Sign of the Times, which was put together by the York Theatre Company and is now playing at New World Stages off-Broadway, running through early June. It's a revusical of songs from like the 1960s and stuff. Lilius White is in Hagestown on Broadway. Alan Menken's music is off-Broadway in Little Shop of Horrors and on Broadway in Aladdin. K.T. Sullivan is at the Algonquin, yes, the Gonk, as they call it, on Tuesday evenings. Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano, they do their songs at Birdland, well, songs by other people, at Birdland on Tuesday evenings. Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks play Birdland Monday evenings, 2 shows. And of course, Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland. Get your tickets for all these events at birdlandjazz.com. Oh, and let's not forget Michael Garin, who is at the Roxy Hotel in Tribeca 4 nights or 5 nights a week, Tuesdays through Saturdays. Evan Seplow is the founder and editor of StageBuddy.com. David Sheward writes for TheaterLife.com, CulturalDaily.com, and the wonderful TotalTheater.com. Dr. Demento, still doing new and old Dr. Demento shows at his website, drdemento.com. And a shout out to Leslie Hoban Blake, who co-hosts 2 on the Aisle with Charlie Gross. You can watch episodes of that on YouTube, as well as Manhattan Neighborhood Network. And of course, a shout out to our beloved Vicky Quaddy, who does Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun and Late Night Catechism out there in Chicago, in and around the Greenhouse Theater. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Thank you, Neville Mariner and the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields. So, we are in the fields of joy, ladies and gentlemen. having such a fun show, such a delightful program, this 938th episode of Days Gone By, with Melvin J. Mintz, with Rabbi Sol Solomon, with Greeley Times, with Dave's Big Dictionary, with just talking about stuff and the earthquake and things. What could possibly go? What could I screw up here like I screwed up in the classroom this week?
Don't know.
Oh, you know. What haven't I done yet?
Cry. You
True.
didn't have you yelled about your the fact that you believe you're right and everyone else is wrong. You've done that a couple times already.
About what today?
About the
No, I wasn't right. I was obviously wrong.
maybe you didn't do an offensive thing to offend people yet.
That's right.
Yes.
So how do I normally do that? She knows. What do I normally do, my
I'm
dear?
not looking at the town. I'm reading to see if anyone comments on your Facebook and scared
Okay.
ways.
Well, you will, if they haven't already. It is time for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. So Joyce and I lived, as we said, in Colorado, in Greeley, Colorado, for a bunch of years, and for no good reason at all. I took it into my brain to start making disgusting, offensive, sick, tasteless poems about as many places in Colorado as I possibly could. I've got almost 300 of them at this point. I try and do a new one every week, and I'm still doing it, even though it can be difficult to do some of these rhymes, as you'll hear. But ladies and gentlemen, this week we go to Abbeyville, Colorado. I'm going to tell you a little bit, there's not much to tell, a little bit about Abbeyville, and then read you a poem about Abbeyville, Colorado, for our Limerick of the Damned.
You're the poetry man. A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 would end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain, Colorado, Colorado, Colorado.
Oh, to Colorado, we go every week, even though, Joyce and I have been living in Maryland now for like 18 or 19 months. But yes, Colorado, I do sometimes miss it. I do still generally love it. And even though we lived there for so many years, I didn't see a lot of Colorado. We've been to Red Rocks, and I was at a place like Evans, and I went to Brush for a very, very long and awful day, but also Johnstown and what am I forgetting? Where's Fort Collins? And I had, I tried out my one-man show at Boulder. So we saw a few times, but not the vast wealth of places and spaces that they have in college. Just looking at a map, hundreds of places. And so you find weird and different ones that you've never even heard of, including Abbeyville, Colorado, which is now essentially nothing. It's a ghost town. It was a former mining camp in Gunnison County, which was built by a fella named, wait for it, C.F. Abbey, A-B-B-E-Y. Abbey. So this is why Abbeyville. It had a post office back in 1882, but by 1887, it was already down to just one resident. So it's not even there anymore. There's no real Abbeyville now. Why? Well, it's sort of understandable, as the place is nearly 2 miles high and has recorded a record low temperature in winter of minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the worst day. But can you imagine living in a place where it goes down to minus 60 that isn't Antarctica?
Wow.
Or Alaska or something? This is Colorado. And it's not even 2 full miles high. It's like 9,600 feet above sea level. But there it is, Abbeyville, or there it was, Abbeyville. Nobody's really done anything with it for 100-something years. And it does make me wonder about these places. It's like, there's so many ghost towns. There's so many places with no people on it, and yet we have populated that don't have a place to live.
They'll get repopulated over time.
I mean, it's sort of like if we have all these immigrants that are crowding into hotels and shelters and street corners of New York and Texas and wherever, like, how is there a disconnect of not just like building them places to frickin' live in all this open land? Granted, they need parkas to live in Abbeyville, but I'm just wondering. Anyway, that's a little bit about Abbeyville. Now, let me share a poem a verse. I hope you're not averse to this verse about Abbeyville, Colorado. A raving psychotic in Abbeyville. I'll start.
I'm sorry.
I gotta get my rhythm down.
Okay.
A raving psychotic in Abbeyville who lived in a hut on a shabby hill drove all across town to hunt a girl down and knife her. Oh, it was a stabby kill.
Oh, I think came off.
Yeah, that wasn't. I beg your pardon. That wasn't gross so much as really horrifying. But
it was like a horror film,
Yeah.
like stabbing and such. Yeah, that was fun.
so if you want to complain, remember that my my email is davesgoneby@aol.com. davesgoneby@aol.com. Please, I love getting your emails. You can also post or message me on Facebook. So, whether you know me or not, as long as you have a Facebook account, you can message me or just write something under the individual show. And I do try and read everything. If I get a chance, I'll give a thumbs up or I'll reply back sometimes, not to everything. But yeah, love to hear from you. That's what this is all about.
I'm gonna order your food sex
Yeah.
again.
davesgoneby@aol.com. Plus, we have a Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2. It's Radio Dave and the number 2. Plus, don't forget, I've told you about davesgoneby.com for archives of the show. If you want to learn more about me and read my work, my written work, you can go to davelefkowitz.org. Dave Lefkowitz, like my name, .org. And this is where the scripts for my plays are, the lyrics to my songs, the comical essays I've written, the serious print interviews that I've done with a lot of famous people. If you want to read them, if you want to surf the words, now, not the ridiculous ones tumbling extemporaneously out of my mouth, but if you want to read the ones that I've had to craft a little bit and think about and revise, davelefkowitz.org is the place to go. So, yeah, that basically covers it for the show. We've done everything we've set out to, but I do want to take a moment while Joyce is ordering our lunch here. Not your lunch, I'm sorry, but we just can't afford to feed all of you. But
You don't want blueberry muffin bagel. What bagel?
no, I do not want a blueberry
Do
muffin
you
bagel.
want onion? Do you want garlic? What?
I will go with,
Poppy, plain, onion,
Poppy.
garlic, everything?
you know what? Well, the everything was really good last. It was salty. It was nice. I gotta do that everything
Try it
again.
again and see.
Yeah.
I'll do your toasted too. You just keep talking.
Yeah. So, but I do want to do a farewell. This was I'm glad to be doing comedy, quote unquote, on this. I don't know why I put that in quotes, but on this program because it was kind of a rough week for comedy overall and people who grew up in the generation that I grew up in because we lost
Should I order now?
for 12:30.
Oh, I can't order now. I'll just leave it in the cart and see.
Yeah. But I want to say a farewell to a couple of people that the comedy world lost in the same week. First of all, if you haven't heard, Joe Flaherty passed away. Now, if you know Second City Television, you know the name probably Joe Flaherty, but immediately you flash back to this wonderful character comedian, almost a straight man guy, even though his characters were as funny as anybody else's, in that amazing team of people who created SCTV. So Joe Flaherty, you know him as Guy Caballero, the station owner. You certainly know him as Count Floyd. With this is a scary, scary, spooky film. All right, it's not that scary. Yeah. And this is just a wonderful segment, wonderful character, comedian who started in Chicago and stayed there with the Second City for 7 years, and then helped create the Toronto Second City, where he hooked up, because he was like the only real American cast member of SCTV. All the other people, Rick Moranis, Andrea Martin, Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy, John Candy, they were all Canadians and Canadian Americans, put together SCTV. And, this is one of the things I don't understand. Maybe one of these streaming services has these episodes because they were on for almost a decade in various forms. I understand why you can't just go to a channel and watch old episodes of Second City Television instead of having to have them on disc or something like that. Because I read about them now with the Joe Flaherty obituaries, and it's like, my God, that's funny stuff, you know. And maybe even funnier in retrospect than the first time you see something, and you think, oh my God, they were hysterical, right? And we did have Jewel Hallmeyer on this program a few years ago. He was the costume designer for Second City TV, and he told just how the budgets were nothing back then. How they were living on skin and bones and just putting everything together behind a flat set. But he would try and do, as an artist will, the most with the least. So he put together these amazing costumes on, spittle and shoe polish and shoelaces, and they would show up wonderfully on the camera. But anyway, never got a chance, at least on the show, to interview any of the SCTV people at this point, unfortunately. I did interview Andrea Martin for a magazine a few years back. But gotta say a farewell to Joe Flaherty. He also did that sort of popular family-oriented comedy Maniac Mansion, if you remember that one, which is kind of cute, kind of okay, but nice. It was a nice sort of oddball
David, I
show.
kid you not. Our neighbor who does everything is she's out there mowing.
Yes, yes. So farewell to him, and also as a theater person, got a big farewell to Christopher Durang, the playwright who passed away at age 75 on Tuesday. He had been suffering for a couple of years with progressive aphasia, just not being able to remember words or anything. He's the author of Sister Mary Ignatius Explains It All for You. And, the nice thing to say is that his last major work made it to Broadway, Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike. And not only that, it made it to Broadway. It was really good. It won the Tony Award for Best Play. So he had this validation. Okay, this is going back a little more than 5, maybe 10 years at this point. But he had, because his career had ups and downs, and he got a bad review for one of his first major plays from the critic of the New York Times, and then, some of his stuff was great, some of it not so great, because he was always sort of outsidery. It was always sort of strange and dark and weird stuff he was often doing. But he really pulled it all together for Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike, which for me was his best work. And it was great that, not great that shortly after that he started getting sick, but he had that success. He had that success to esteem, also a box office success, awarded, critically reviewed, and it was just, he probably knew how good it was, because it was really, really good. So a big farewell to Christopher Durang. My memory of him, I remember seeing him on the subway once. I don't know if I tried to get his autograph or I just kind of nodded at him, like acknowledging, like, nobody else in this car knows who you are, but I'm a theater guy. You're Christopher Durang. Mm-hmm. I remember when I was taking theater classes at NYU, I remember doing a scene with someone from Identity Crisis, another one of his earlier plays. And I will always remember the image of him, even though I don't remember the play and it got kind of boring. He did a show called Laughing Wild, where he came out off Broadway dressed magnificently as the Infant of Prague.
Whoa!
It was a great sight gag. In fact, the sight gag outshadowed everything else in the play. But here he was. He looked like this giant bespeckled Easter egg, or what do they call those Fabergé magnificent Russian eggs with it's just like, whoa! So Durang is the Infant of Prague. It was kind of cool. But anyway, farewell to him. Farewell to Joe Flaherty. Some sad, comic-y news here in the Daverhood. And now it's time to bid farewell to you guys, because it's time to end this 938th episode of Dave's Gone By. And we expect and hope to be back next Saturday morning with the 939th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio podcast, Programmio of the stream. Keep checking our website, davesgoneby.com, and this Facebook page for information about the show. And let's see, is there anything else? I think Passover is still a week or two away, so we're not too worried about that.
I think you can't really top. I mean, personally, for me, like, you know, like they say, like, you've been to the mountain or you've been to Mecca. Like, how are you going to top Mel? Like, what other guest could top Mel?
We're trying for President Biden, but we make fun of him, so he probably won't.
I don't think Biden's going to come on any shows until he gets,
Jimmy Carter is still alive, but he was a terrible president.
Why would you be looking at political people? Mel's just like an
well, he's political. Mel was,
yeah, but not in that same genre. Like, Mel
but who can top?
Mel is beyond, maybe Mel Torme.
If he was still Mel, also Jewish, by the way. But
maybe
I don't know.
You should go through a series of Mel, like Melanie Griffin, Mel.
We did have Melanie on the show.
Yeah.
She died, but she died. So
you didn't kill her.
No, certainly not.
It's not related to the show, David. Let's make sure to make that. Here, keep this.
Yeah. If we can maybe get, I don't know, Paul McCartney is alive. We can try for him. But will it still be a disappointment after Melvin G. Mintz? The only way that you can find out is by watching this program every Saturday from 9 until noonish Eastern Time here in the Daverhood on Facebook or the archives on YouTube, davesgoneby.com and archive.org. So it just remains for me to thank my wonderful, beautiful wife, Joyce.
And you know what I'm going to do for you, baby? I'm going to place the order.
She's going to place an order for a bagel. Oh,
review
boy.
Order.
Yes. No, I'm doing the tongue thing, but
Your BLT darkly toasted.
Yes.
My veggie thing scooped, and I got a large tea.
Yeah. Joyce is having her veggie thing scooped, which they can do as an outpatient now. So
I want to see if I have any. We used all our stuff.
We used all our stuff. Anyway, I'll see you God willing, we will see you next week in the Daverhood on Dave's Gone By.
Dave's gone by.